got new faces on the scene. Hey, oh dang it, you're over here. Potter, esports Doug, who gave me permission to call him Doug. But we're in this.
Doug, let's do a high five. Ready? Double hand
no,
high
this
five.
is a bad idea.
Come on.
Oh,
No.
Lose.
Yep.
Potter, I'm so
Then
sorry.
over here. Yep. There we go.
I got loot. Yeah.
Well, anyways, we tried.
I'll get better. I promise.
Okay, so that was C9 White sending TSM to the lowers. And Potter and Esports Doug said they were able to catch that. Doug, let's go to you first. What were your impressions of C9 White just shutting down TSM in every attempt that they made?
Yeah, Cloud9 look really good. I think there are a couple of firecrackers on that roster. The first person that comes to mind for me is Katsumi. I think she's nuts. And the thing that's fun for me about her is that it's whenever the team needs her most, right? Like, she may not always be top fragging, but the impact kills that she's getting on an agent like Astra, of all things, really has the possibility to really dictate an entire round. So she's a player that I watched a ton. I think the Cloud9 roster as a whole looks really good. TSM fought, right? Like, they tested their mettle. It was close in a couple of moments, but Cloud9's depth just seemed to pull away there.
Yeah, no, they definitely did. And, you know, I think Sean kept mentioning it. That series to me just seemed like so neck and neck. Just a couple of small kills, trades, just ulti timings, a little bit different. And all of a sudden, we could probably be looking at a third map for TSM. Their icebox looks fantastic. Both squads really impressed me, especially with their strategical approach.
Yes, all right. We are looking here head-to-head of our next match up. So C9 is moving on. So no more with them, guys. Hopefully we can take a look at the bracket here in a second to give you guys a look at what has been going on. But hey, I said head-to-head, and that sent off this lovely graphic right here. It's the face-off of the duelists. So Potter, how does this look? A Jet versus a Phoenix. As a competitive player yourself in Valorant, where do these agents specifically dominate, and on what maps? Why?
Yeah, you know, they both serve kind of the same role. They're just both really aggressive, in-your-face space makers, and they're supposed to be meant to disrupt, right? You've got Phoenix with those curveballs, the flashes going off, and the molly to buy even more space for themselves. And for Jet, it's just a playground, usually whatever map it is, whether it be Icebox, Breeze, she's just able to go with verticality, she's able to dash away. So there's a lot of different strengths for both agents' kits, but Emily's shown us exactly how to utilize that Phoenix run it back. She's always so aggressive, and on cooldown, she's gonna use it. And she's usually good for at least 2 to 3 per half, which is more than you can ask for any of your Phoenix players. So I'm excited. Emily, it seems like her operator has been on point. She's heating up, especially in that Cloud9 series. She had some impactful kills across the board. So I don't even know what to think. If we were doing predictions, I don't know who I would pick here, because TSM, they're warmed up now. They're a little bit salty. They feel like they should have won that Cloud9 series. And for Dignitas, they're on Cloud9, right? Yesterday they had such a dominant day. Just, I think collectively they lost maybe 7 rounds, if I remember correctly. So that's across multiple maps. So both of these squads, they're looking hot to trot right now.
Well, let's head over to the brackets, question mark? I'm not sure. I don't know. The production's gonna do what they're gonna do. And Doug, any thoughts here then from you as well regarding, because Potter kind of touched on it, TSM or Dignitas are going home. Dignitas being our #1 seed in this bracket. One of these two amazing teams are heading out.
It is crazy to think that this is an elimination match. I'm really excited to see how the play styles match up. We talked about the aggression that comes out from Phoenix, and we saw Dignitas play to that a good bit yesterday in their series against Just Breeze, so I'm excited to see how that pairs up. As you can see on the bracket here, it was an unfortunate start for them against Shopify Rebellion, but then they made quick work of Just Breeze to get us here. So to your point, Lucy, yeah, it's insane. One of these two teams is going home in just a couple of hours.
It's crazy. And I don't even know. We need to see the map pick and bans, honestly, at this point, because we're just so much speculation, and that's just obviously the point of us here, is to do all of that and give the analyzations of everything. I want to see what we are going to be playing these on. Will this go the distance, or will this be a 2-0 by either team? We're starting out on Breeze. All right. Ooh, TSM coming in with that spicy pick. Potter, how's this lineup fare in your eyes?
That's surprising. That's surprising. I think it makes sense, you know, especially because TSM, they heavily lean onto that icebox, and as they should, because it's such a large map. And the 1-3-1s that they showcase for C9, the pack in the middle with Kath leading the charge, it worked out greatly for them. So it does make sense. Breeze, it's kind of transferable, having those strats getting over to this Breeze. So, yeah, makes sense to me.
I think for me, I do love this pick as well because it's a wild card, right? We haven't seen Breeze a ton. Now, both teams have played it, but it is still a bit untested, right? Teams are still trying to figure out how they feel on that map. We did see, I believe TSM is going to start on the defense, and that was one of the areas that Dig was able to exploit a considerable amount yesterday. They were able to dial up the pressure. They were able to change the pace of play on that half of the map. So I'm looking to see what can TSM do to apply some pressure onto Dig, because it's very easy to, for the attacking team, be the one who dictates everything, right? And it's especially on a map like Breeze, because of the long sight lines, because of how big the sites are, you've got to be able to push some of that back into their lap. So that's what I'm looking to see TSM do early on.
Ooh, do you think that's where a Phoenix could benefit over a Jet?
I don't think so. On another map, yes, but Jet, again, the map is just so big that the Blade Storm and the mobility that she offers that Phoenix unfortunately doesn't have built into the kit just is too valuable in my opinion. A map like Ascent, 1000% split, no Phoenix in there. But when we're talking about Jet on a map like Breeze, she's a must pick in my opinion.
Okay, well, while we're waiting for the game to be ready for us to get to, Potter, I mean, what do you think in this matchup, right? You just said TSM, they are hot. They're ready to go, and they are extra fired up because not just are they warmed up, they are a little hurt that they lost that matchup in the way that they did because they tried so hard. They were so good on that. And Dignitas could be taken out here. But
yeah,
go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna go for it here. I think I want to touch a little bit more on that Breeze, and just the fact that, again, as you mentioned, Lucy, TSM, they're hot right now. This is a counter pick. This has to be, right? Because if we think about it, Dignitas had played Breeze yesterday twice. That's a lot of data. That's not a lot of time in 24 hours for Dig to actually change their game plan. So those little gimmicky plays that we saw, the show Liana on the Odin, spamming through the A tunnels there, there's these small plays that I'm sure TSM, they've jotted those plays down, and there's definitely a reason why TSM have picked this Breeze first into the series for the very first time in an elimination series. So I'm excited. I'm sure Kath, she's got to have cooked something up here.
Yeah, Kath on the side of TSM. So then, but that's Emily on the side of Dignitas as the captain and the big brains and what have you. Doug, do you think they're going to put Sholiana on that, or do they need to keep Sholiana on the Odin, really? The Sova-Odin combo.
I want to say yes, just because it's so effective, but that's the thing about Sholiana is we saw yesterday that it can be an Odin, it can be a freaking classic. It doesn't seem to matter when we're talking about Sholiana. She's just such a complete player. I think there's a lot to be said about the game plan that Emily brought into that series yesterday, particularly on Breeze. I think their intentions were made very clear right off the bat on the pace at which they wanted to play the map, how they wanted to control the extremities as well. So I think there's a whole lot going on for Dig here. I do think Potter's onto something, though, right? The fact that they pick Breeze in this situation normally would kind of raise some eyebrows, so you've got to think that there's something going on there that they feel good about.
Ooh, and you know what this means, everyone? That means it's time for the games to begin. Potter, Doug, I'm going to give this to you guys.
Thank you so much, Lucy. Excited. I mean, so freaking pumped to get into this thing. As we mentioned, this is an elimination match between TSM and Dignitas. We're going to be kicking this bad boy off on Breeze, and we're already seeing, I mean, everything from TSM. Composition-wise, I'm loving the Viper. We talked about it a bit yesterday, but the Reyna Jet on the side of TSM. Potter, how does that sit with you?
Oof. You know, this tells me that Kath is going to be doing a lot of lurking. You know, we talked about that Among Us halls on this map. It's such a point of contention, right? That door, it is so cringe, the way you're able to just sit on the stairs and keep closing it back and forth. So I'm expecting that Kath is either going to get some timings towards that area, maybe towards the middle, and you talked about it, right? Jet, just the fact that she's able to do so much on a map this large, it's going to be exciting. I do want to also point out, I'm loving the Phoenix coming out on Breeze. I know it's a little bit unconventional probably, but the fact that the orbs are just so accessible on the attack, and the fact that it only takes 6 charges for that run it back, it's crucial, and it initiates and allows Dignitas to get into those sites the more Emily is able to get that run it back. So it works, right? It works, and we saw it work on Dignitas's game plan.
We did. Lucy was onto something. There's something else that I want to touch on with Dignitas's agent selection that I want to get your thoughts on. Often, so when Astra came into the fold, we saw her replace Omen. But Dig values those smokes so much that they're willing to bring an Omen and an Astra into the fold. What are your thoughts on that?
Oof, you know, it makes sense. I just don't know that it's worth an Astra for in the place of a Viper. You know, yesterday we saw Rain defending over towards the B, and it worked. I mean, the sucks, it came into clutch, but at the same time, you're missing out on that huge Viper wall. You're missing out on a lot more control. So the fact that they have to now bring Omen in to compensate for that, there's just a lot better agents across the board. But again, it just comes down to the game plan, and we're jumping right into it here, Doug.
Speaking of Viper, we already saw a cheeky little one-way setup on A, and double doors are not easy to push through as well, but they're trying. Stephanie's already dropped. Emily does as well, as TSM has managed to have firm control of the site early on. Of course, as I say that, it gets traded out, but they certainly seems like that's where they want to go. The spike's been picked up, but these fights through the smokes that we were talking about at the beginning of the round are proving to be a bit too much. Spike down.
Sholiana, we saw her in this position yesterday. She was good for it too. That recon gives TSM the info, and she's just down to 1. Oh no, Rain, she survived. Barely though.
Okay, so it was messy, right? It was super messy. The smokes, the utility was all there, and then the pistols on such a big site like that certainly doesn't help the situation, but TSM able to walk away with the pistol round win. And again, it was off of the backs of the utility usage that they had on the site, right? We talked about that one way from Zoe. It was an excellent setup.
Excellent, for sure. And I honestly can't believe how long some of these players survived. We saw Thea even towards that door, and that util you were talking about, that allowed her to just kind of dance around all those bullets coming her way. That was a pretty close one for Dig. I think that recon tagging Sholiana at the last minute there, really unfortunate, but TSM, they just scraped by barely with that retake.
They do. Potter, look at the force up from Dig. They all...
Ooh, I like that.
With the exception of Thea, excuse me. Oh, but the Jig's going to be up, but Zoe's able to get one anyway. Emily trades it out and gets flashed to pass to back up, but the Marshall from Emily is taking care of Rain as well. Emily's going to get cleaned up because Kath was on the flank. She got Emily caught and wasn't able to really do anything with that.
One enemy remaining.
No way. No way. That was such a dominant performance out of TSM. And again, Dig forced up into that. Financially, they're going to be in shambles.
That is shambles. Leah Panda, oh man, I wish I could see how much damage she actually did within this round. It was so huge, just perfectly placed double shock darts coming out from her. And I like the force up coming out from Dig. I think it's a risk worth taking. Now, in hindsight, obviously it probably wasn't as great, but the fact that they have this pounce, the fact that they want to get into the site, get into a pulse plant as fast as possible, that's where the Spectres are definitely going to shine.
Yep.
But again, I have to mention the Viper wall. If they had a Viper wall towards that A, they could probably play around it a little bit harder, but ifs, ands, or buts behind us. This is just another scrappy buy coming out from Dig here, Doug. Just some pistols and half armor.
Hindsight does tend to be 2020. Dig cheating towards B. They've managed to work their way up. Now, the thing is, there's not a ton of info across the middle of the map for TSM. Kath is there, and as you see, Athena's starting to rotate over as well. But Sholiana can have a jump. The gun difference is just too much. A Bulldog into the eyes of a Ghost is just so difficult to deal with. Yeah, Suck's going to push him back, but that wall from Athena is really going to deny any entry. They have to work through both of those ladies to get on B, or they rotate off. But take a look at where Emily is already, right? Like, the options are starting to dwindle already.
Yeah, you can see Emily, she's got full control over the Among Us halls and even A. Right now, TSM have full knowledge, full map control. They know that the ladies of Dig are choked up towards this elbow area. Kath understands exactly where the hit is going to come from. Athena's got a lot coming on her
boy.
plate. Good crossfire, but Kath goes down.
Athena still up. The curveball out from Emily. Not able to land anything. She does have the sheriff there, but Athena stays alive again. A 3K with the classic. And they really just waltzed in. And Potter, we mentioned how the way that TSM played the map prior to that exec going off just really took away Dig's options. There was no real easy way for them to go. And then you factor in the gun difference that they had. And TSM, that just seemed pedestrian for them.
Pedestrian indeed. And you know, that was a throwaway round. We'll put it to that. A lot of confidence coming out from TSM. They'll have to have that same amount of confidence coming into these gun rounds because, as you say, Doug, that was a lot of information, and Dig need to make sure that they don't make that information quite as free coming into these gun rounds. Kat, she's not backing down, Doug. She wants more.
Oh, and that's the thing about Arraign is you have to play at that pace. Zoe's already been dropped, so no Viper util to cause problems for Dig this time around. You see Emily locking down A as Dig try to work the middle of the map and try to get something going. This is very similar to the playstyle that we saw from them yesterday against Just Breathe. A little touch and go, poke and prod to figure out what's open, and then make a move.
Yeah, but man, they're just getting picked apart left and right. That's a good dismiss. Kath, so much pressure on her plate,
Wow.
and Stephanie's just right there to trade it out.
All right, now this is big from a financial perspective. Dig, remember, they forced round 2. They have the gun advantage here. This round needs to go their way for them to kind of get back going from a finance perspective. If Leah and Emily can do this, if they can pull off this 2v4, Dig's going to be in financial ruins for the next couple of rounds. Now, for that, Dig, they do have the run it back. They do have the Cosmic Divide as well, and they have the Spike down. So for TSM, it looks like they are just going to peel off, keep the op, keep the Vandal in the hands of Leah, and live to fight another day.
Oh, but Thea, she's ratting right now towards this nest. Emily even hears the sound cues. Oh, Leah
Wow.
Panda, she's gonna have to survive. Okay,
No
that's
way.
expensive.
No way. She might... Okay.
I think that was worth it. Those 2 kills were worth it. Now Leah Panda, she's working with the Hunter's Fury. Emily, she should be able to save the op. Oh, okay, that was huge. If they had got that kill, that would have been devastating for TSM. But the fact that she saved the op, the fact that we've got some ultimates coming online here for TSM, that could entice these ladies to force up. Their finances, as you mentioned, Doug, before, are not that pretty right now. But a lot of decisions have to be made right here.
Yeah, I mean, look, Emily, she bought full, right? She has a little bit of everything as far as utility goes and has a Phantom, but could only afford light armor. So you're seeing, again, the financial implications of the decision that they made in round 2. Hunter's Fury coming out right off the bat from Leah Panda, not tagging anyone up. I don't know that she got any information at all, but with that said, TSM looking to slowly creep their way forward. You see Kath trying to control elbow, trying to control the middle of the map, and again, taking options away from Dig. This is what we talked about prior to the map starting. Take options away, apply pressure, and put Dig in a disadvantageous situation.
Absolutely, and I love that play coming out from TSM. Kath, we saw her constantly taking that duel, taking that contact towards the elbow. I would have loved it if she would have W'd and kind of pushed along with that Hunter's Fury. Unfortunately, Leah Panda didn't get any tags off, but you can see the wheels are in motion right now.
And now, even with some of that early aggression, you see TSM's comfortable playing, really giving up the middle of the map, right? The Cosmic Divide's going to come out. You also hear Emily using the run it back, not going to net anything because of the Lear, an excellent Lear. Athena's already dropped. Leah's on the flank. Leah's good for one. Spotted a second. Not able to land the shots. Emily's up, just narrowly misses as well, as Kath is still on the site. Trying to dance around. Stay alive, keep herself to live to fight another day. Zoe's on the flank as well. She's good for one. The spike finally goes down. Emily's alone. Emily, good for one. 1v2. Kath drops as well. Oh, Zoe goes up huge for TSM to drop Emily and win the round.
What a molly coming up for TSM and Zoe here. And you can see she's definitely proud of herself, and as she should be. Great retake coming out for TSM, and that was Kath, man. She was in there. She was towards the half wall as the spike was already planted, and she didn't get very many kills, but the fact that she was in the mix, in the fight, and didn't back down allowed the rest of her teammates to catch up with her. And you saw it, the frags just kind of came hand in hand with the positioning that Kath had. So fantastic stuff and great retake for TSM.
Excellent retake. We see a pause is coming through, presumably from the side of Dignitas to figure out how they want to approach the next couple of rounds. But if there's anything else going on, we'll get you all informed as soon as possible. Thank you, production, for confirming that. So Dig opting to take a pause here, recollect what's going on, and kind of shift up the game plan, because Potter for Dig, or excuse me, for TSM, they've dictated the pace the entire time. They look really good right now.
They do, and it's the control, and I think it all comes down to the elbow right now. Kath is feeling good. She's constantly poking. She's constantly not allowing Dignitas to just run their default and maintain that control. At any point, Dig, they have to be kind of afraid of Kath pushing through all the way on elbow and realizing that part of the map is clear. So right now, Dig, they're discussing, do we go on to a full-on exec? Do we slow it down? Do we even default harder than we have been to keep TSM guessing? A lot of decisions to be made here.
That's just a tough call to make because, again, like yesterday, Digger, they normally play this defaulty side on attack, and if TSM's just kind of running at them while they're trying to default, Dig can't really feel things out. We're going to go ahead and see the Viper's kit come out right off the Viper's pit, come out right off the bat from Zoe to lock down really negate all of Cave's presence. So there's no comfortable way to work your way into that site unless it's through double doors, which is exactly what Emily is locking down right now. And then to add a little bit onto that, you see Leah Panda locking down tubes. Kath getting that opening pick, like you said, on elbow. But yeah, they've got something cooking. That's 2.
Whoa. Okay, Leah Panda, she's about to get lurked on. That's a lot of ground that Steph and Emily find themselves in, and if Leah Panda's not careful here...
She hears it. She knows they're there. The door. And then the footsteps. She has to know they're there, but is she going to check the 50? Oh, the sheriff from Emily. It's good.
Her teammate closed the door behind her. She closed the door behind her. The bait was perfect. Hook, line, and sinker, and now it's just all down to Kath and Athena. 2 versus 4, this retake. But the res, it does come through here, Doug.
Oh, and the Hunter's Fury onto the res spot, so they should know where that's coming from. They're going to swing with it. Stephanie's good for it. The Blade Storm came online as well as Emily's looking to take the round into her own hands. Swinging out aggressively, but you've got to move. The spike is down. Emily, it's in a great spot. She never left it. She was still up there the entire time. Manages to get another kill. Emily going hunting. Good for 1. The Cloudburst down. Taps. Waiting to see if Rain will peek because she has to, but no, Emily, the numbers were too much, the guns were too much. A thrifty round win for Dignitas.
What a round coming out from Dig. It didn't come down to insane shots. This came down to just clever, sweaty, and ratty all in one. The fact that Dig, Emily, and Sholiana made their way into this halls, opened the door, closed it. Just outplays coming through here for Dig. Great stuff. And that, all of a sudden, it just swings everything back into Dignitas' favor.
Yes, indeed it does. Take a look at the finances for TSM. It's pretty meager. To be honest, you've got Sheriffs, a Shorty, and a Marshal, which can be devastating. But we'll see if they have any magic to come with it. The Paranoia is coming out onto elbow. We see this area of the map continue to be highly contested between both squads, but nothing doing quite yet.
That's some good damage coming out from Emily, though. Things can get dicey here. Kath, confident as ever. She does get taken out. That's huge for Thea. And right now, Dignitas just slowing things down once again. They know they've got the advantageous weaponry here. They don't want to run into some weird, wonky stack. Rain is going to start sniffing out towards this A cave. And they even expend the jellies here. Better safe than sorry. And it makes sense, right, Sky? It's just so easy, actually, to re-accumulate that ultimate. Just the 6 orbs. This Shorty. Oh, this is a decent fight for Zoe, though. That's a lot of damage.
That is a ton of damage, but it was just overwhelming. Not enough backup, not enough help there. The door comes up, the damage comes through, and Emily drops instantly as she's sitting on the sideline for the rest of the round. Heavy numbers advantage in favor of Dig as they look to try to get to 3, but Leah's got a Marshal, And Athena's got a sheriff, so they've got something to cook up. But again, it's a 2v5. This is difficult. But I mean, certainly not impossible by any means. Surely not, right?
Nah. Nah, Doug. Nah. Come on now.
Yeah, you didn't hesitate at all. So did get to 3. TSM made it expensive, right? Like Athena getting those picks at the end there with the sheriff kind of equalized things a bit, but now TSM's back on guns. This has been a back and forth affair from both of these squads as they fight for control. Again, a lot of the attention has been on Elbow and on the middle of the map, as we've talked about.
Yeah, absolutely. And Emily's been doing work right now. We kept talking about the run it back. It's already back online, so definitely expect Emily to start things off here. Initiating, and she's been towards this mid area constantly, towards this doors, applying the pressure. And Kath, she's made her lurks all the way towards this Among Us this time.
So you saw Emily from TSM had the op, and she was holding down the cover, right? So that Kath was able to go in aggressively and position herself by shoot. Now, if anyone pushes into Hall, she's going to be able to help out with that. But then there's also this cheeky little play setup where if they draw enough attention from the middle of the map towards the top, she can drop down on a perfect flank. And she may even get the timing for it, too, if they go aggressively on her.
Toxins going up. Poison orb emitting.
Flash comes out, util goes up, buys more time. There's still plenty of time in the round, but they have a decent idea of where things are. Thea drops, the Cosmic Divide comes out as well, and there's the run it back like you mentioned. It's going to clear out onto A. Kath on the swing, poking through the Cosmic Divide. Nothing doing yet. There's the op that's been found.
Spike down.
As it's a 4v2 heavily in favor of TSM, and the spike's down. They're going to have to retreat back to get it. Stephanie has to go big here. She doesn't have a ton of util either.
She does have an inkling that somebody might have made it past her. Just trying to figure out.
Stop.
Oh, that's a nice shot.
That's an excellent shot, but with 10 seconds left, she's got to get the spike down. She's tapping. 8 seconds left. She's dancing through the pyramids. Excuse me, it was just too much. Panda takes care of her. Emily drops. TSM get to 5.
Oh man, this was a great round coming out from TSM. You saw the positioning that Kath was in the A halls, forward, very forward, and you mentioned how she got there, Leah Panda. But Thea, she made her TP play, made it into Nest. We saw yesterday it paying off hugely for Dignitas. The fact that she was able to get in such a forward position, off of timing, off that paranoia. But TSM, we mentioned it, they've been doing their homework. They watched those matches yesterday. Leah Panda was not going to get fooled. She was completely aware of where Thea might have been. And Emily, this is an aggressive pick.
Oh, man. And it pays off. The op has been so good in her hands. And then you apply pressure from the other side of the middle of the map. And Kath is able to do that as well. Pile on the Hunter's Fury. And Athena's already good for 2. It's a bloodbath as Rain is the last one standing on the side of Dig into the army that currently stands from TSM.
There it is. That's a perfect push. Aggression coming out with the Hunter's Fury. As Dig are scrambling, they aggress and they push forward. Dig, it's all down to her. The spike is down, and TSM, they're fully aware.
What a round from TSM. The combination of utility and pushing in together at the exact same time to apply pressure onto Dig made it to where nowhere was safe, right? That's such an uncomfortable position to be in, because once the op swings out, you've got to focus there. Kath on the swing, and then Athena just makes things look way too easy elsewhere on the map. When all of that piles on at once, Potter, you feel that pressure, right? Like, A was not safe, the middle's not safe, B's not safe either, so where do you go?
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of, the greatest game plan you can have, right? Not allow your opponents to really think and properly communicate because it's so hectic. That's the kind of pressure we talk about on the cast very often, is constantly applying that. That's a great shot from Emily. This time, Kath is punished for her lurk.
Well, and I mean, that's the same setup, right? Where Emily's watching with the op and Kath goes in aggressive, but the op shot misses. Emily does not. That cleans up the first kill of the round.
I've got your trail.
No, wait,
she saw it. She saw it.
Why?
So you talked to, okay, we're going to have to come back to that because that's a big deal. The Seekers come out from Stephanie as they get onto the site, onto A. And it's a 4v4. Poor Jelly's not going to make it through those doors. As
I
Zoe
told
drops.
you, that door is cringe, Doug. This door. I swear, it's not only ruining our games, but it's ruining the Jellies as well. And here we are, post-plant 3 versus 4. This retake, oh, the res does come in. So TSM, they are not willing to give this round up.
Now you see there's no aggression coming in from TSM on the flank either, and you don't see some of that taken from Dig either. They're all holed up in cave. There's really nowhere else for them to go. Now they could have the shock darts and the hot hands lineups
The wall.
to help deny the post plant, but Cat's going in aggressive. She has to. Good for one. The Empress is on as the spike continues to tick away. She's got to stick to fight to him. I don't know that she's going to be able to get
Okay.
She wasn't able to do it. The aggression was great, but it was just a hair too late. A respawn clutch coming out from Dig. Yeah, the highlights were there. The kill feed was lit up, but the round goes in favor of Dig.
Oh, man, I thought TSM had that one in the bag. I wonder, because I saw the Sage wall go down. I expected the stick to come through, but I guess it was the Sova, Leah Panda, that was actually on the spike itself, and she gets taken out. Oh, that was so close for TSM. But either way, that's almost a W, because TSM, they're in the lead 6-4. They've completely ruined Dignitas's money. If they win this one, Dig, they're broke for the rest of this half. So afterwards, you know, they could say calculated loss there. Hopefully that's the case.
Bit of aggression coming out from TSM towards caves. Dina's about to spot one, cleans her up as well. Nice shots from the Vandal and the heal to top her back off. So this like feel things out strategy again from Dig. It's not paying off like it was yesterday against JB.
Yeah, no, it definitely is not. And
Scout destroyed.
they're aware that a player is back left, but man, this Viper orb, it's so oppressive. The spam's coming through from Kath. It's not connecting to anyone, and Dig, at least they make it into the site.
They do. Now, Sholiana has the Hunter's Fury, and Thea can TP to a better position if she wants to play around the flank. But for now, the spike has gone down, and you see the retake attempt from TSM start to show up. Zoe trying to deal some damage with a bit of her utility as Emily with the op. I mean, just full. The confidence with which she's playing is just insane. Leah Panda and Athena both get one apiece as Emily and Stephanie are left alone. Make that Stephanie. Stephanie in a 1v way too many. As the wall comes down, she gets cleaned up. TSM's going to get the defuse. You talked about the economy post this round. That's a big one, Potter.
1v way too many, and the economy, you're absolutely right. This is gonna be tough. At least Dignitas, I believe they have a couple of ultis to work with here, but this is gonna be such a scrappy buy. Barely anything for themselves. And TSM, if they continue the aggression that they're showing, I mean, whether it be towards the among A-halls with Kath, whether it be that pounce of Sage Athena just taking over that A cave. Right now, Dig, they're unable to run any sort of default, and they're unable to do any sort of executes because TSM keep picking them off before they can even get it started.
Yeah, and it's not like they have a ton of money here to work with, as you said. Guns are not great. I mean, yeah, they got the wall out. You've got Emily with the run it back. Maybe you dial something up, but then there's just so much firepower that's lacking. It's gonna if they win this round, it has to be off the backs of their ultimate usage.
Here we are,
as I
Hunter's
say
Fury.
that, 4 come out at once. Yeah, the Hunter's Fury, the Cosmic Divide, and I believe there was one more that came out. But either way, they've tried getting onto the site. They've gotten the spike down, but Leah's aggression through that hall is just too much. Thea drops again. That was the other ultimate. It was the Friendly Shadows. Thea tried getting into the back. Stephanie still alive. Good for one on Kath. But Athena on the flank cleans up Emily as members continue to drop on the side of Dig. Athena's good for another one as well. Sholiana's alone. She's got the Sheriff, and she's got one. Now, a 1v2, she's got a Shark Dart too. So, Potter, this is doable if she lands this kill, but Athena's just going to tank it. There's just no more. She doesn't have any more lineups. She has to stick the fight. It's not going to work out. TSM get to 8.
Oh my. This round was so close, even with the scrappy purchases coming out from Emily. Stephanie did so much within this round. utilizing that Astral Wall, getting close, making it towards that mid area. If she had probably a Phantom or a Vandal instead of that Spectre, maybe she could have done a little bit more, but man, TSM. Now I can see why they picked this Breeze. I'm starting to see it here, Doug.
Yeah, and it was either their prep going into it, like their game plan going in, or they saw something in the film from Dig that they were able to really dial in on and exploit. Either way, it's working out. They're up 4 rounds, and now they're on the attack. With the pace at which they played in the first half, if they're able to just sprinkle a bit of that into this half, you're looking real good if you're a TSM fan.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, the struggles we saw, oh, it's already starting.
Oh, boy.
The aggression right back from Dig. They're not waiting at all.
No, they're not. Again, it was a peek from around pillar and through double doors that was just too much for TSM in that moment as Stephanie gets onto one as well. Kath on the Reyna. Drops. Nina looking to get the spike down in a 1v2. Shock Dart hurts. Not enough to deal lethal damage. She's going to heal up. She's not careful. She may drop. She's got to get out of there. Classic. You see the Astra Stars coming out. Sholiana's Ghost at that distance proves to be better than the Classic. So they're going to get the defuse. Dig, I mean, exactly what they needed to kick off the second half.
Yeah, exactly. They did not wait around. They did not allow TSM to utilize. I was just in the middle of talking about how Viper should allow TSM to have a little bit of a different look on this attack side than what we saw Dig do, but Dignitas didn't even allow that Viper wall to go up. They were all the way down in mid, just in TSM's faces, and there we are. Are we going to see another force back? I mean, we saw that it worked out for Dig. Well, almost worked out, rather. But no, this time around TSM, they're just going to be a little bit more conservative in their approach.
Indeed. TSM, full stack towards B. Everyone over that way, and that's pretty common when you're on a pistol. You want to hit fast, you want to hit hard, and hopefully overwhelm via numbers, but you're going again into the gun advantage that Dignitas have here. Stephanie's already good for one. Oh, and that flash is going to be... Oh, no. I thought she was going to check the back.
Uh-oh. Well,
so she spotted where one is, but she's standing on a slow orb. Still good to land the shots onto Zoe and get the kill. Oh, boy. Sholiana's good for a second one as well. The flash comes out. Emily, it's good for it. There's just one left. It's Leah Pandas. She's stuck in a corner. The defuse is going to come out. Dig, hold, serve. So they win the pistol. They win the following round. Now they're in a spot financially, considering how the first half went from that perspective, where they were really just broken most of the time. If they can get something going here, if they can keep the financial advantage that they have and really hurt TSM's economy here, we're in for an excellent second half.
we absolutely are, but this is the big test, Doug. This is it. TSM, they've gotten the spike down 2 rounds in a row. They're absolutely going to have a better buy than Dig coming into this one.
Yeah.
And even though TSM only got the 1 kill, mission accomplished, right? They got what they came in for, and they're trying it again. All 5 members of TSM are grouped up towards this B. They're probably feeling like they got in pretty easy past the Astra util before it even went down, and here comes a drone. That should give Rain a little bit of time to actually make these Astra orbs come into play, but Jet already in there.
Yeah, the Viper's walling up, and you can see Dig very comfortable playing retake. They're entirely playing off-site. The only thing, as you said, Potter, was the Astra util to kind of delay some of it, but they feel comfortable in their strength on the retake, and they're coming in from multiple sides. You've got Thea, who's on the flank as well, along with Emily. There's Thea. She's already good for 1. Remember, this is their bonus. Financially, this is a huge round. Oh, the flash is perfect. Thea's going to be on the combo as well. Teamwork is excellent out from Dig as they continue to fight onto the site. A great wall, however, from Athena to try to keep them at bay as they dance around the utils. They dance around the structures and try to take control of things. Athena drops. TSM follows suit. Dig, I mean, to the moon with their finances after that round.
To the moon, absolutely. And oh man, yeah, TSM, they really needed to put a lot more focus towards their flanks, and I think they needed to realize that as soon as they took the site so easily, there was just no contesting there. And Leah Panda needed more help. Beautiful flash coming out from Emily, and Dignitas making this retake look easy.
They did. I think that this map, as we've seen it play out, just puts so much emphasis on individual gunfights, right? They're too big. There are too many entry points to really be able to play together if you're trying to defend a retake. So Dig played that super well. Now TSM's on this weird buy where they've got a Judge, a couple of Sheriffs, and a Spectre. Certainly not what they want to bring into the fold, especially knowing you're going into full armor and full rifles on the side of Dig.
Oh, they trying to sniff out exactly what's going on. Emily already taken some damage. Oh, this is aggressive.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Right on to the Astra Utopia. Emily's following as well. Emily has to go in aggressive. She gets one on Thea with the Sheriff. Looking for, oh no. Oh, the run back runs out. Emily's still alive, somehow dancing through her Cloudburst to stay alive, but she's been flashed up, and through all of this ruckus that's been caused in the middle of the map, you see Kath on A, got the spike down, and she's got the Empress online, so there's a chance at something here.
Oh my.
As Dig continues to drop, they've dropped another. Oh my gosh, Zoe! No! A 3K. Rain is left alone. Rain good for one. Rain and Kath in a 1v1. As the spike continues to tick away, Rain quietly creeping her way forward as the spike continues to tick. Rain's gonna have to bust a move here. First one spotted. And Kath can dance away. She just needs to run away and buy time for the spike to go off, playing a little bit of ring around the Rosie. Rain on the tap. The Lear's there. But the clock, the third man in this fight might just prove to be too much. Yeah, Rain can't do it. And Kath gets the kill. A Virus Thrifty for TSM.
Oh my, oh my. Dignitas. They're trying to just build up the confidence. They don't want to let TSM through, but that was to the demise. Zoe, I can't believe it. Drops the Judge, picks up the Phantom. Stephanie, that's going to burn for days after this one, but TSM, they are able to convert here, Doug. We've got a game on our hands.
Man, and again, Diggs, they're still okay financially. They can still buy full, but you see Emily's already down to 0. It's certainly not where you want to be. What can TSM drop on the attack? And again, for Dig, they favor aggression across the middle. There's the Hunter series. Sholiana gets caught with a curveball in her hands. A balk, if you will. So that's all that's cooking for now. Both teams have dropped one apiece.
TSM using that Sova drone so well right now. Zoe, perfect timing, does a lot of damage to Thea. That paranoia is going to come in huge. At least Thea is able to reposition. 4v4. Oh, Dignitas, I like this. Pack leader taking some map control back together.
They may have gotten a bit more than they bargained for. Yeah, they have the middle of the map, but they don't have any of the extremities, and they're dropping like flies. Sholiana and Stephanie are both out. It's just Rain in a 1v4.
Oh man, TSM, they definitely felt that one coming. Everyone backing up together. It's all down to Rain, 78 HP. Oh, the timing here, but Athena, the Spidey senses were absolutely tingling there. And there it is, TSM. Things are getting so hectic in the mid-round here, Doug, but somehow, some way, TSM, whether it was the Thrifty with the pistols last round or this gun round into this one, anytime Dig are trying to re-aggress in the mid-round and take over that mid, that's when TSM is just winning out on the duels.
And it's the same recipe that we saw from TSM in the previous half, right? On the defensive side, they controlled the pace of the map. They controlled the rounds. It was through their aggression, their pushing where it hurts that made Dig really uncomfortable. Dig is dialing up the same thing. Dig's trying to apply the same amount of pressure, and while they haven't had, while they've had some success, TSM has just been able to handle it far better, right? They've been able to deal with the problems that Dig has tried throwing out them individually in the way that they're macroing out the map, just like we saw in the previous round where they all pulled off and waited for that to come and then re-engaged on the fights while controlling both sites, really. It's just been a very impressive display of macro from TSM.
Absolutely. Here we go, another scrappy buy coming out for Dig. And quite far away from orbs here for any sort of ultimates. I'd like to see Dig just going through it, maybe getting the orbs onto Stephanie or Emily, preparing themselves for a gun round in just a couple.
Revealing area.
So note that TSM has 5 ultimates online, and note that Zoe did not drop any util at the beginning of the round. So there's no like set piece in play here. They don't have anything in mind, and that makes sense knowing that Dig's on this weird pistol where they're going to try to play things out differently.
And Zoe's been so patient around this area. She knows that Thea likes to push up and she's waiting for it. Oh, oh boy. Read like a book, Doug.
Read like a book indeed. And again, those ultimates are all still in line. If they can get through this round without using any of it, that's best case scenario across the board. Dig already down to 2 members left as well. You mentioned they're nowhere really to getting their ultimates online. This is not a good spot for Dig.
Definitely not a good spot. Maybe a kill to come through for Sholiana, but not to be. And that's a perfect round. Not a lick of damage onto the TSM ladies. And that's beautiful coming in. This is going to be everything for Dig. They need to have one of their best strats coming through. Maybe a set piece. We saw yesterday how crucial Emily is in getting her team rallied up behind her, getting into the sites, finding those entries. We've got an Omen ult to work with. I'd like to see Omen potentially using her ult here in this round as her teammates get contact and maybe get some sort of flank going, especially because all 5 members of TSM are grouped up. Emily finds the first kill. Beautiful curveball and a second to boot. That's a lot of damage coming out from Dignitas, and Thea's right there to back her up.
One enemy remaining. Spike down A.
Zoe does use her ultimate here. She's gonna try to at least snake her way around it, find a kill, and that was labored. That spray was labored. There was definitely a world where Zoe finds a cleaner kill there, makes it a 1v2, gets the spike down, and somehow, some way finds a victory. But Dig, great answer coming through. Emily with the huge 2 frags off the back of the curveball. And Thea was just right there to back her up. Beautiful hold coming out from Dig. And I believe it's just down to me at the moment. You guys in Twitch chat will only hear my beautiful voice. That is an 8th round on the board here for Dig, and TSM once again, Leah Panda with the drone. TSM have been doing a great job with this drone, following suit, finding the great tag and the info, and usually able to find a frag off the back of it, but this time Kath is not able to. Ooh, Athena is in a great spot here. Her teammates are trying to get some aggro towards this elbow area.
Stealing sight.
One down. Seek them out.
Cover going out.
Things have kind of slowed down. As I say that, Emily does find a pick off of Athena. A little overzealous. Her teammates needed to have some sort of pressure. But right now, TSM, they're just down to 3. Looks like the regroup is happening towards this mid double doors. Emily's about to have a lot of company, and she gets taken out.
30 seconds
They should be able to funnel in this Viper wall coming up huge into play. Thea, she's got to make a decision. Does she wait for her teammates for this retake? Does she take a peek? It looks like she will wait for the rest of her squad, and that is the more calculated decision. Kath, she's going to have to try to be a little pokey here. Try to get a pick off before the retake actually starts. That ping is huge. Leah Panda might be able to find something off of it.
Last player standing.
No charges. Poison orb emitting.
The beautiful Viper lineups coming through. Oh. There was a world. If Doug was here, I would be talking to him about the fact that there was a world that Zoe's able to drag this round out and somehow, some way win out this round with those Viper mollies. But Dignitas, nice response. And a beautiful retake. 9-11, TSM.
One down.
They've lost these last couple of rounds where they've spread out and started that default.
Player standing.
I think they've had more success when they've grouped up and had that pack leader in Kath and forced the trades, forced the issues. The spread out default right now doesn't seem to be as dominant. But here we are. Once again, a 1-3-1 setup. 3 players of TSM towards mid, trying to find some ground. And this time around, Dig, they're not really pushing. They're sitting back.
Stealing sight.
That should be information here for Dig. Stephanie relaying that over. Beautiful pick from Emily. The site should fall here. Dignitas have shown that the retake is possible. They will start to slowly find some sort of way to flank here, but Emily's also on the flank on the side of TSM. But right now, Stephanie, this is going to be everything. This flank towards elbow, the timing of it.
One enemy remaining.
Oh. And she does fall. TSM able to secure the post plant towards the B site.
Take flight. Enemy mark.
Kath not slowing down. The drone gave her the confidence, the Viper wall, allowing her to take over all this space. And the spike, once again, it's going to go down. This is a 5v5. TSM should feel pretty comfortable with this, but Dignitas, they're starting, but Emily gets taken out. It's just the frags are going all over the place right now.
They are indeed. Sorry about that, folks. I'm back.
You're back!
Back and just at the right time. Remote broadcasts are incredible. As Emily tries to push TSM right over the edge, you hear the Hunter Series coming out as well. As Leah Panda dances around a 3K for Rain. Dig, take another one, and this one's going down to the wire.
Oh. They have it. Oh.
I called it. I had no doubt in my mind.
I'm so glad you're back there, Doug. Holy. Well, here we are. As you're coming back, Dig, they might be starting their comeback into this. I mean, TSM, they've been dominating while you've been gone here, Doug, but Dignitas, that's a beautiful retake to start things off in their hopeful comeback here.
All right, let's take stock of what's going on here. TSM, full rifles. Same goes for Dig. They do have a couple of ults, but not really the impactful ones that they're looking for. You see Viper has already set up that util across a site. As Leah drones her way in. Excellent dart as well to give away the back of the site. As Kath goes in first, she's already good for one. But the spike isn't there, right? They're waiting on Zoe to be able to rotate. But if Zoe doesn't get there in time and the rest of TSM drops before she gets there, the play's dead. Emily has to go big here.
Here.
Or Leah, that certainly works as well.
There's
Zoe
another
looks to
flank,
get the
Doug.
spike down.
Athena has made her way behind the back line, so the spike goes down. But okay, Emily doesn't need the flank to come through. She's just going to whip around and figure out the frag for herself, and that's TSM just getting over the finish line there as you make your way back.
Thank you for solo casting during that. I'm sure that was a lot of fun. As much fun as TSM had in that map. I mean, we saw them really, from what I was here for, they really controlled the pace, right? Like, they controlled the map, they controlled the game. It was a couple of excellent pop-off performances. And for Dig, they showed comfort, but again, the hole that they found themselves in the first half, that finding yourself down 8-4, especially when you're on the attack, is just a pretty significant deficit to find yourself in.
Yeah, absolutely. And TSM showed a lot of gimmicky, nice set plays. I love the fact that anytime their Sova utilized that drone, a frag or some sort of trade usually always happened off the back of it. So TSM really maximizing whatever util they had, and the 1-3-1s that they had with Kath leading the pack, leading the charge, it worked out beautifully for TSM.
It did indeed. Folks, we're going to cut to a break. When we return, we're going to break down more of this map and bring Lucy into the action as well. Stay tuned. Have fun.
Welcome back, everyone. Doug's here. Don't worry. We've got him. And I must say right now, I just realized you guys are wearing flannels together. Aww.
We're matching. We didn't coordinate that. It happened on accident.
Oh, really?
No.
I swear.
No.
I straight up thought you guys coordinated that because it sounded like you guys coordinated yesterday. Yeah.
We did.
Fantastic. I love it. All right. We guys touched a little bit post-map before the break about this previous breakdown here. So let's talk about it a little bit. So Potter, it seemed like TSM did do their homework, right? Explain in what way specifically did TSM dismantle Dignitas?
You know, they were just always aware. They didn't allow Dig to put that sort of pressure towards the elbow and towards the nest area. I mentioned it in the cast, but yesterday, Thea, she had a lot of freedom in the area. She was using her Omen smokes and pushing back the defenders. It didn't always happen in the form of frags, but it happened in that form of map control. And this time, Leah Panda, she was always good for it. She kept Thea back, and whether she killed Thea or not, that map control, it wasn't in Dig's favor this time around. So they felt a little bit more restricted than I've seen them on any of the maps yesterday.
Yeah, I think in even you saw it in that last round when Dig was able to take map control, when they were able to kind of get what they wanted as far as positioning on a retake or something like that. TSM's just individual gun skill was the difference maker, right? It just came down to 1v1s where you just had to win your gunfight, and TSM was able to answer that call more frequently, in my opinion, than Dig could. So it was a whole lot going on there. TSM did their homework. Dig was not able to get the map control that they wanted, but then when they did, TSM was able to handle that perfectly as well.
Yeah, really close nonetheless. You can see here 13-10. And it was just a battle back and forth. And of course, in the end, we see TSM coming out on top for map number 1. So now we are going to be moving into map number 2. Now, Doug, I mean, again, this is close, but we are now moving into Dignitas' map pick, Ascent. What can they do, you think? I mean, did you happen to see any weaknesses in TSM that Dignitas could really capitalize on and start chipping away at them at all?
That was a tough one. I think I will say this for Dig. There was something that, and it may have been the homework thing, right? There was something that they saw that they felt more comfortable in when it comes to Breeze, and Ascent may be a different story. Dig looked really good on Ascent yesterday, 13-1 over just Breeze. Sholiana popped off, Rain. I mean, really everyone. They all put up pretty insane performances. So I think you're going into Ascent, you're going into a map that you had an excellent performance on yesterday, and you remove some of the factor of Breeze is still kind of unknown, and it's still new, and it's still a bit uncomfortable for teams.
A reminder here for you guys, if you're just joining us, it was Breeze, map number 1, and now moving into Ascent, where, guys, I know that Doug was a dominant 13-1 that you were mentioning. However, when Dignitas is up against another dominant squad, like you see here with TSM, on Ascent, their history has shown to be really tight on that map. So I really think that this could definitely be taken to the edge here, possibly even in overtime. But then we're going to see a third map should we need it. TSM up 1. Dignitas, they need to win this or they are going home. Guys, it is going to be decided right here. Will we have a map number 3? Let's find out. We're going to send it over to the SIG Agent Selects. Guys.
Lucy, thank you so much. Yes, hopping into Agent Select, and the thing that we kind of touched on, or I touched on a little bit here, Potter, that I'd love to talk a bit more about. When you look at the performance that Dig had across the board, there is a slight delay, folks. We'll get you into the game as soon as we can. When you look at how Dig performed across the board yesterday, I touched on it a little bit. Sholiana was nuts, right? She went plus 16 on Breeze. She went plus 9 on Ascent. She was out of this world. And while there were a couple of pretty big plays that she made on Breeze, it was not the same bang that she had against just Breeze.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. But I'm going to be honest, Doug, I think just the comp was straight up better. I think TSM's comp was just straight up better. I think moving over to Ascent, as you said, the unknown factor is out the door. These ladies have probably scrimmed this map the most out of all the maps that we have. And as you say, Sholiana, she's going to have a little bit of that comfort zone. That Odin is absolutely going to come into play. And actually, the synergy with Sholiana and with, I believe it was Rain, No, Thea. Thea was on the Killjoy first on Ascent.
Correct.
Their synergy towards that B, just locking it down. It
Yeah.
was beautiful. They did not allow their opponents to even fight for the orb. So I think Dignitas, they should have a little bit of a better look here on Ascent.
We'll see how the picks come through. I think another thing for Dig is they had two duelists, right? They had Stephanie on the Rays who put up great numbers on Ascent yesterday. We'll see if that's what comes through this time around. And for TSM, Potter, like, while it was close, right? It wasn't a stomp. TSM, they looked so good in so many different aspects of the game that it's really hard to identify. Like Lucy asked earlier, it's really hard to identify one thing that you can look at and go, man, they can lean into this. They can exploit this. It's very obvious. It's very blatant. And you can use that to crack the map open.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is hard, right? Because I think majority of the rounds that TSM won was off the back of, again, the 1-3-1, the slow default. Just the three members slowly prodding towards the mid as the two players have those extremities cut off. And that sort of play style, it can fall apart real fast. If one of your extremity players falls off, if they get a little overzealous, overstep their bounds and get picked off, all of a sudden there's no trade potential. You lose that entire part of the map. But the huge payoff is if your players are disciplined, if your communication is on point, all of a sudden, 30 seconds into the round, you may have full map control. So that's kind of what TSM, it fell into their lap. They worked hard for it, but this time around, Dignitas can't allow that to happen.
And I want to talk a bit more about the 1-3-1 as we have a few minutes. We're still in a slight delay. We'll get you all into the action as soon as we possibly can. When we talk about that 1-3-1, it's often not talked about favorably, right? Because there's pretty substantial risk that you alluded to. If one of your extremities gets picked off, you've kind of left an entire half or an entire at least third of the map open.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, you usually don't see, well, I say that, but Ascent, you'll see a lot of 1-3-1s as well. So, but I think that the bigger the map is, and especially when you don't have the ultis to combo an exec of some kind, or if your opponents have a killjoy and you have to bait out their util, there's a lot of moving pieces as to why a 1-3-1 would happen versus a 4-1 or just a straight up five-man exec. So I think TSM, they had a lot of different looks, and that allows them to take advantage of it, whether their opponents have the util to stop them or not.
Emily's back on that jet, and really, I mean, very similar composition to what we saw previously. Zoe was on the Viper this time, rocking the Killjoy, but the rest of the way looking pretty good. Athena on that Astra, so we're going to see all sorts of stars. And then also worth mentioning, unlike Breeze, Dig is only opting for the Astra here. They don't have the Astra and the Omen, so they're much more comfortable in adding a little bit of additional firepower and having that Raze online to complement Emily's Phoenix. So compositions look pretty good. I think the one thing that we're looking for TSM, in my opinion, is keep up the pace of play, right? Keep up the aggression that you showed on Breeze, because it was very evident that Dig had a hard time handling that, navigating everything that was being thrown out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh, my mic was muted for a second. Not sure why, but yeah, here we go. We're starting right into it. On Ascent, actually, I haven't actually seen TSM play this map yet, so I'm definitely excited to see exactly what their approach is. As I mentioned, Dig, they very much like to fight for that B orb.
They do, but
starting
look
on
at
the attack this time, though.
Yeah, and look at how Kath has already taken some presence away around the B orb. So they have excellent setup there. They also have a ton of Killjoy utility coming in through tree. So they've already made it very clear they're comfortable giving up the middle of the map because they're going to control the outsides. You see the hit that's going to be coming in through tree. Athena's already been tagged up pretty badly. And yeah, some of that Astra util is going to keep things at bay, at least for now. But the darts there, Emily's going full send with the ghost as she takes care of Athena, and Dig try to continue to get onto the site. They do so successfully. The door is going to come down, and a little bit of damage as a parting gift.
That parting gift, I'm not sure I would be very happy about that one, but Dig Brain here on the flank. And it's just gonna tuck back away. Such a nuisance. Beautifully played, but right now TSM, they feel like they have to force the issue. And Rain, she's playing this to perfection, delaying it, and the reflank is on the way.
Yeah, it is. Emily has to go big there. She drops. Cat's able to get that kill. So now they have a couple of members off site, right? But as far as utility goes, there's no shock dart. There's nothing that could help deny that post plant. So they're going to have to fight. You talked about the reflank. There it was. Rain's good for it. Choliana's good for the last two. Diggs good for the pistol.
Beautifully played here for Dignitas, and you saw Emily, man, just the no fear, getting in there, getting involved, and the drive-by happening off the back of that curveball. First of all, the value that Choliana got off that recon was amazing. The fact that she pinged 3 players towards that tree, the paint shells even to just do the splash damage and not allow TSM to really re-aggress and take a favorable duel there. Dignitas really choked TSM out in that cat area, and Dig Rain again playing that round to perfection. I don't know why I keep calling Dig Rain Dig Rain, but maybe I'll make it a thing.
I think it sounds good. I think you've got something cooking. Dig have something cooking across the middle of the map. The Roomba was there. The Spectre from Stephanie was as well. As they've taken the middle, they've working their way towards B. Yeah, there are 2 members from the side of TSM who are there, but all they have is pistols. Or excuse me, it was just one. Either way, the outcome is the same. Dig have full control. Now it's on TSM to fight for the retake with nothing but classics. Oh, and a sheriff for Kath.
Can't forget the sheriff. And yeah, at this point, TSM, they just want to get some frags. That's a good start.
Enemy remaining.
But a better
That's just
finish.
a cleanup. Yeah.
Now, I mean, she was being somewhat of a nuisance there. And you're right, it was a great start. And a lot of it was, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but when you're retaking, especially on B, if you can come in from defender spawn and the middle of the map through market and divide some of the attention that the attackers are trying to apply to one area, it just makes it so much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. This is for all the marbles, the momentum coming into this half. TSM are gonna want to shut this one down from Dig. Again, the better buy coming through for TSM. Leah Panda definitely hears the KJ turret there. That's good splash damage.
And you see, because of that dart, right, because of that splash damage, look at how Emily rotated back towards B. They also have that Killjoy, that one right there, that alarm bot, that should give them a cue that the play's working up the middle of the map. They're also getting a ton of info from Kath, who's already peeking down A long to understand that nobody's leaning that way. So by deduction, you can understand the hit's likely coming towards B unless they flip it elsewhere. They don't have any visibility into tree, so there could be something cooking up there, and that's exactly where Stephanie's going.
Yeah, but the fact that Rain saw that push, saw Kath, and made her just get back a little bit is convincing Stephanie to take this tree area, and that's exactly what needed to happen. This coordination between Stephanie and Rain, it has to come through. The timing. Beautiful for Stephanie. And there it is, the trades coming out huge for Dig. And that's the A site gone.
And those are some of the most frustrating deaths where you're like, I did everything right. I looked away for 1 second, and that's exactly when they swing. Unfortunate. The spike does go down at the hands of Dig. Now for TSM, you still got a couple of members up, and you have rifles. Not a ton as far as utility goes, but there's a chance at this retake. But again, it's slightly disjointed, right? Like, now they're going to be able to funnel in some through tree. Keep an eye on Emily. She's at a great spot. Oh, but the turret's going to give her spot away. She has to back up as the spike continues to tick away. TSM still with the numbers advantage. As I say that, so he drops. Rain going in aggressively as well. An excellent post play and setup. A 3K for Rain and the 3rd round for Dig.
Oh, man. Dignitas reacting just beautifully within this round. And it all came down to that A main aggression coming out from Kath. She got caught with her hand in the cookie jar there, and you saw on the minimap all the movements coming through. Because there were so many bodies towards the A main, the weak point of the map was absolutely the tree area. And although Stephanie, I mean, she had a lot of luck on her side, a little bit of RNG with that timing. Either way, that sort of real estate, the fact that she was in the position that she was and was able to capitalize off it, that's all due to the information that was communicated across to her. So beautiful stuff from Dignitas. controlling the pace, controlling the map, and TSM, they're going to try to contest this A main once again.
And the truth is, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right? Sometimes it's better for timing to go your way than anything else. For Dig, financially, they're sitting pretty. There is a judge in the hands of Zoe, but certainly not in a place to make any action happen with it yet. And you see, right, like the noise that they cause, particularly Sholiana and some of the attention that she drew there. Look at how Leah Panda has to respond. She was on B. You also saw Zoe peel off a bit to start to cheat towards A, thinking that's where the hit was. Beautiful manipulation of rotation by Dig.
Good seesawing here for sure. Zoe, this judge close range should do some work, and there it is. Oh my, almost a two-piece for her. That's decent damage. The suck is going to slow things down. Kath is on a huge flank, but this Killjoy turret, the jig is up. Kath, Sholiana knows everything about it. Leah Panda, she's got to be good for one here at least.
Emily's on the flank as well, but they opt to give it up. So they're back to this retake attempt through market, through the middle of the map. And the thing is, for Dig, they're all holed up in the site, right? They've also got the Cosmic Divide in the hands of Rain. There it is. They're also going to drop the alarm bot. So that's so much info. Of course, it gets cleared up instantly. But that was a huge pick out of Emily. Cath drops as well. Showstopper in the hands of Stephanie. It comes out, but you don't need it when you've got paint shells like that. Athena gets cleaned up with 3K for Stephanie, and the Dig train keeps rolling.
Man, the more I watch Stephanie on this raise, the more and more I'm becoming a fan of this player. I think she's getting max damage, max util damage, just every time with those paint shells. Even the boom bot, we saw her placing it, able to space with it and get towards that market area. Just the moves that she's making, the space that she's gaining right now. It's everything for Dignitas, and another preset paint shells for her to just push back off Cat, take over this mid area, find some ground. Ooh, that's huge for TSM.
Well, it's huge. It's also so dang pretty, right? Like to use the Cloud Burst to deny information from the Recon Dart and swing at just the right time to land the shots. Excellent play from Emily. She keeps the op, she keeps control of the middle of the map, and she gives, well, temporarily, she gave numbers advantage over to TSM. Of course, it got traded out, but high impact kill already. Oh, she might get another one.
Oh. Things are so tense. The timing of the smoke is beautiful for Dignitas. Emily just getting isolated out of her angles. And here we go. The hit, it's coming off the back of this. Run it back. The dark timing, though.
Yeah, but I don't know that they're fully committed to this. All right, now they're going to creep their way in. It was slow. It was a bit delayed. And that honestly gives TSM a bit of time to respond, a bit of time to reposition. You see Emily has to back off. She's now worked her way towards Cat as TSM knows that that's where some aggression's coming from. That's a huge kill. Emily needed to be the nuisance there, not able to do it. There comes the lockdown as well in the hands of Thea. The Lear pops out. Nothing really to clear it out, so that's going to buy a significant amount of time as they drop down. Of course, as I say that, the lockdown drops. Thea in a 1v2. She's got the alarm button. She hears that somebody's right above her. Good for one. Thea in the 1v1! Kath comes up huge for TSM to get them on the board, get the defuse, and bring us to 4-1.
So close. So many things in this round that went right for TSM, but also almost heroic moments coming out from Dig. Thea in an impossible scenario there. The fact that she used her Killjoy ultimate and almost converted this round, and I believe it was a 2 versus 4 post-plant scenario. Whew, things are dicey here. Either way, Dig, they're pretty satisfied with this round. Not only did they almost win it, but they're keeping TSM's money so tight. So even though TSM were able to successfully make that retake happen, they're wondering right now, what the heck do we even do? We're going to have to half armor, probably buy some Bulldogs and Spectres again. So Dig, they're still looking pretty here.
They are. They're sitting very comfortably. You see an op is going to come into the fold as we've got a tech timeout. As soon as we'll get some info, we'll get it over to you and get us back into the action. Meanwhile, TSM is buying up, so you'll see some of their intentions. We mentioned the operator in the hands of Emily, courtesy of her dear friend Kath, and a rifle is now in her hands as well. There is still somewhat enough to go around to get a little bit more bang into Zoe's pocket. But yeah, Potter, I think you're right. Dig are sitting pretty here. They've got good guns, and note the money that's still left in their pockets, right? Thea, Stephanie, and Juliana all have 23 plus to work with here into the next round. So they're good here financially. They're in a good spot for the next round. And Juliana's just a couple of points away from having her ultimate. We know how devastating she can be with the Hunter Siri. There's a lot that looks good on the side of Dig here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess the one shining light for TSM is the fact that their Killjoy ultimate is now online as well. So they can change their defenses up a little bit. They can be willing to give up that A main area and start to put more bodies towards mid, maybe more bodies towards B main. The Sova Hunter's Fury is down at the moment, so the A retake, they can feel a little bit more confident in that. So this should set up, well, change some of the setups for TSM moving forward, at least for a couple of rounds.
Now tell me this, Potter, in your opinion, knowing that TSM's in this weird buy where they're bringing in some, right? Like, as I mentioned, they're bringing the op into the fold, but it's still this weird light buy. What, in your opinion, is the green light to go ahead and invest the Killjoy ultimate? Is it a pretty heavy numbers advantage? Is it something that you see as far as like a very good read on the round, or is that something even with those things in mind you would hesitate to invest?
I think you just automatically use it as soon as you come into the round with the intentions of giving up A, so you put the bodies elsewhere, and as long as it's 5v4, 4v4, 3v3, any of these types of scenarios, you'll definitely utilize that ult. You just get so much of that site back, especially towards A. Now, B is a lot more tricky. So I think we're probably going to see TSM putting, again, a lot more of their bodies towards B main, especially because I believe 2 of the players right now will have Spectres. So that is a pretty doable fight. It's an okay duel for the Spectre in the B main area. So I think maybe a drone play, something to be able to find a more advantageous duel and put some more bodies into that B main area.
Yeah, I think that I absolutely agree with you. That can certainly turn things. And we saw the last round we just saw, or maybe the previous round, where Emily with the op right across the middle of the map, just excellent work around the dart with the cloud burst to then still land the shot. So maybe that's what it takes, right? Maybe it takes an opening pick across the middle of the map with that operator. It's still, remember, we're on the old patch here, so it's still 5,000 credits. It's not the slightly cheaper version. There's still heavy investment going into that. So if you can somehow make that bad boy sing, if you can get some value out of that investment, then you're right. I think all of a sudden we're talking about, all right, now we've got numbers advantage. Now we have the Killjoy ultimate online. And I think the other thing to keep in mind here is for TSM, for as good as they looked on map 1, it's been Dig's map 2, right? Like top to bottom, they've looked really good. They've kept control. There have been a couple of rounds that have gone TSM's way. The good thing for TSM in this case is that it's still early in the half, right? If they can get a round to go their way that maybe shouldn't go their way, get some momentum back in their favor, I think we can be talking about a completely different map.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially just thinking about how great Dignitas' defenses are on Ascent. TSM are gonna want a little bit of that wiggle room, a little bit of room in the score lines at least to be able to work with on the attack. So definitely gaining some momentum back right now is gonna be key for TSM here.
And that was something that we touched on yesterday is how important confidence and momentum is in this game, right? Like there are times you're feeling it. And when you're feeling it, you're going to take chows that you maybe normally wouldn't take if you weren't shooting as well or weren't feeling as confident in your play. And oftentimes, those are those 50s, those are those ego chows, if you will, that are unexpected, right? And you catch teams off guard. You're able to win these big 1v1s that you wouldn't normally be able to because you wouldn't be taking them to begin with. And that feels like that snowball type mentality. And I think it's even exacerbated on a map like Ascent, which tends to lend itself towards snowbally, like long runoffs of rounds being won in a row. So I think you've got something cooking there where you just get an inch if you're TSM, just enough to tip things back in your favor, and we can easily see them rattle off a lot here. Quick update for you all who are hanging out in the chat or watching at home. There is a mouse that's dead. Not, obviously not an actual mouse. There's a mouse that's dead, a peripheral for Zoe in particular. So they're still working on it. They're getting that thing situated, and then we'll be right back into the action. So with that in mind, Potter, we've talked a bit about TSM. We've talked about how they can, with momentum, get back into this. If you're Dig, in particular, you've had a lot go your way. You've had excellent value and excellent utilization of your utility to provide advantages that wouldn't normally have been there. Is there anything that you're seeing that Dig needs to continue to lean into or avoid as like a potential roadblock? Or if you don't address this, TSM can exploit it?
Yeah, to your point, some more, Doug. It's about that confidence, and I know confidence is so vague. It can be put into so many different scenarios, but the kind of confidence I'm talking about is the presence that you have in the server when you have confidence, and when you get that one tap, when you can almost bluff the fact that there's more bodies there with you. There might be some sort of crazy trap set up. There might be a crossfire that you're unawares of. When you're having confidence, your opponents feel that confidence coming from you, so they're a little bit more cautious. They don't want to just take and face you in a 50-50. They're afraid utility is going to come right off the back of that. So that's why confidence is so important, is you don't back down off those choke points. You fight for it. You make them work for it. And if anything, at the very least, you make your opponents expend all their utility to try to fight for it, right? So it's a win-win-win when you're playing with that much confidence. And I think both of these squads in Dig and in TSM are showcasing that right now, but it's very swingy, right? It's kind of back and forth. And although Dignitas right now have the control, we've seen TSM making their comebacks, not only just in this series, but even in their series versus Cloud9 earlier. We talked about how, honestly, it felt like TSM probably should have won that. So that's the confidence that that I'm kind of probably waiting to see coming out from TSM on this map a little bit, maybe in the next couple of rounds.
Well, fortunately, folks, without fear of potentially jinxing it, we're not going to have to wait for too much longer. I'm being told that they are ready, so we should be getting back into action here in just a moment. Thank you, production, for bringing us back online. So if you stepped away, right, or, we were gone for a little while, let's take stock once again of what's going on. Rifles, a Spectre in the hands of Athena, an Op in the hands of Emily, and rifles across the board for Dig. No ultimates quite yet online, but they are close. What can TSM cook up? You see, for Dig, heavy investment towards B. They're leaning that way very hard. And Emily, oh no! The aggression was there. They had a play that they wanted to push Emily aggressively in to take control of the map, and they got punished.
Emily, she's just not stopping, dude. Thea finds another one as well. That's the B site gone. Dig, they should start funneling in. And Athena, she's got a good timing, a decent flank here. And it's going to be up to her to bring the rest of her TSM teammates in to find the trades. I don't know if the operator there is the right play, though.
But so far, no damage done. Athena was able to pick up the op. They were able to get another kill, and all of a sudden, a round that looked very comfortably in favor of Dig does not look that way. Remember the ultimates that TSM has online. So we can drop the Killjoy ultimate, and they're just sitting ducks there, right? Leah Panda's dropped those. Zoe's dropped as well. What a shot from Thea, as Athena's the last one there. Has the Cosmic Divide, but does not have teammates that are alive in this round. A 1v3, the alarm bot gives her away. Thea gets to 3, and Dig yet to 5. Now, Potter, we talked about confidence. We talked about playing with a little bit of swagger. That's what TSM was trying to do at the beginning of that round.
It was, but man, Emily, she's walking with that swagger a little bit more, man. Just beaming it out of those mid smokes with the curveball, and even the way they played this post plant, right? Just waiting off the back of Sholiana. Again, Dignitas are very aware of what their win conditions are. That's a paper thin wall there. They understood that Killjoy ult would probably be coming into play, and just spamming through those walls there. And again, Dignitas right here off the back, they're slowing things down. So the change of pace is here coming out from Dig. It's very thoughtful.
It is. And for TSM, once again, the timing not great for Athena as she tries to go into her astral form, make something happen with her util. Nothing doing. Same level of aggression from Emily. Dashes into her Cloudburst to take away Tile's presence, but an excellent crossfire setup from Dig. Well, it was until Thea retreated as well. So they're actually gonna What? When was the last time you saw a kill with a blast pack?
Oh Oh boy, it's been a while, Doug. It's been a while. I can't lie to you. But you know, perfectly placed from Stephanie, and you can see she's feeling good. Emily started the round so aggressive, the last alive, and she gets taken out by Sholiana as well. And Dignitas flawless, all 5 members standing at the end of this round. And we gotta touch back a little bit more on Athena. You mentioned it, Doug, the timing. It's just not on her side right now. We've been seeing her constantly getting just off the pace by just minutes, seconds, split seconds, in fact. And Stephanie finds another timing on Athena. And although it was just classic, still, it doesn't feel good when you're the player and you're like, no, I didn't even get to play the round. I didn't even get to shoot my gun. So definitely, hopefully for Athena, things turn around here soon.
Unlucky, really, as the timing doesn't go their way. Excellent curveball. The Lear was a great counter as well, and we saw Cat take that space away, get all the way across, and then peel right back. But think about all of the utility that was invested in that like pocket of 10 seconds.
Yeah, everyone just throwing everything against the wall there, trying to win out that B main fight. I'll say though, TSM are the winners of that one. Zoe, we mentioned it before, that Killjoy ultimate is in play, and TSM are completely okay with giving up the A site here.
There's no follow. Right? Think about how much space Stephanie just took with the showstopper. The spike is still on A long. Rain is still back there as well. Now they're going to get onto the site to secure things are there, but now you've got a chance to counter something.
No.
The lockdown's going to come out. Sholiana is going to use the Hunter's Fury to counter that as well, so a couple of ultimates traded. And the spike has gone down. Now it's going to be on TSM to try to take this back. Emily's on an excellent flank, but you see Thea is wise to it. As Kath gets one onto Steph. TSM are doing this thing. Athena's gotten to get onto the site. They have full site control. The remaining members of Dig are all on long. The lockdown's been used as well to try to equalize things, but Kath going heroic. Kath good for 4. They steal the round away from Dig.
Wow. Beautiful stuff for TSM, and I got worried there that the timing of the Killjoy ult was a little bit early. Generally you want to timing the Killjoy ult because you know the Hunter Fury is going to come into play, so that's when the retake should come through, because that player that's utilizing the Hunter's Fury can't use their gun, can't shoot, so that's when the retake should come through. But you saw MLE, she was top mid, the flank was in play. The timing was a little bit off, but at least the shots for Kath, they were not off. The four piece was beautiful for TSM.
Often feast or famine with Reyna, and for Kath, she just had a whole freaking meal off of Dig. They're going to use the Blade Storm as well in the hands of Emily. 3 ultimates online here. No gun in the hands of Emily, but it may not matter. She goes up off the top ropes and lands the kill onto Sholiana. Excellent play from Emily. Good counter, though. Good counter. Emily with the run it back, gets the curveball into Athena's face and gets the kill.
Kath once again on her lurk shenanigans.
Gosh.
She's good for 2.
Talk about reading it like a book. Right, like she knew exactly where Emily is going to be showing up. Back off the run it back. She was able to get the second one as well. Both teams here just trading blows at the beginning of this round. Finally, things slow down. As I say that, of course, Rain is full thundering onto the site like a Clydesdale. No denying where that information is coming from. And because of that, it was because of that Leah's able to use the Hunter's Fury, deny the plant, and they're able to get the kill. Now, Stephanie has to go in aggressive. She's got to get the spike in this 1v2. This is a big moment for Stephanie. Shock Dart comes out. She does not have a Roomba. She does not have a grenade. She had that blast pack, but now her position's been given away. Wisely not popping into Hell, understanding that's a penetrable wall, but Leah Panda gets the kills onto her anyway. Gets a shot, Zoe gets the defuse. And it's starting to turn. It's slow, it's steady, but it's sure. TSM are getting back in this thing.
Getting tagged by the drone there is just, it's so tough. It's just so tough. And kudos to Leah Panda because, tagging someone with the drone, you're not going to get a lot of love for it all the time, but Leah Panda has been tagging every time, actually. She utilizes that drone, so definitely good stuff coming out for TSM. Again, making this retake work out. And this is it. They're starting to swing back here, Doug.
Emily once again with the yacht blocking down the middle of the map. They also have the alarm bot from Zoe at her feet. Same play, exact same play. Nothing doing quite yet. Emily still holding things down, understanding there may be some presence out from Tiles, is going to back up, live to fight another day.
And Emily is repositioning here. Athena, ooh, this cat lurk. The timing of this is going to be everything.
So they've cleared out the alarm bot. They have no idea of how many are in mid. Rain read it out. She sniffed it out, was able to take care of it. And now look at Dig. They're going to pull off, actually. It looks like they're going to rotate out back towards Zoe, or at least towards the middle of the map, and then decide where they want to go. Zoe's running for the fences to try to stay alive. There's a ton of util all over A.
Yeah, those mollies should come into play, slow things down, buy Zoe some time. And as I say that, though, they're already in the site. Zoe goes down. The spike will also get planted. And Thea is in a prime position. Whoa, her going down. This makes things very doable for TSM.
See, Sholiana has backed off. She's going to be playing A long. Make sure there's nobody on the flank as Emily slowly creeps forward. She's got that op. She's got a shot into the back of Emily to give them the numbers advantage. Rain from down in hell, good for one. The second one as well, as the Grim Reaper looking to finish off the round. Rain with 19 health. Emily finishes it off. Good for one. Trying to get the second. No, it's Sholiana who comes up with the late heroics for Dig to get him the round win.
I would have freaked out, Doug. I would have freaked out if she hit that flick. That was so close. A part of me wishes that she actually hit that, because that would have been an insane clip. But man, Dignitas doing a decent job in the mid round. Thea was in a tough spot, right? She wanted to hold down that mid from that Sabrosa position, but she's in the best spot in this post-plant scenario. It was very crucial for her to stay alive there, or at least survive for a few more seconds. But the fact that Kath got that frag so easy made things very doable for TSM, and they were good for it. Emily now, because mid hasn't been too successful for her for the last couple rounds, brings her operator towards A main, and that's a beautiful find.
Sniper mentality, get a pick, relocate. Stephanie almost spotting Emily. Emily just going back for more. She wants seconds, but Stephanie is backed off. She's going to pick up the orb, one spot away from getting the showstopper online. The suck not going to cause any problems this time around.
Thea's being very patient towards this B area. And right now, TSM aren't really contesting it either.
Well, especially with Leah Panda being the one over there, all she has is a sheriff. So you really don't want to fight that, right? Like, you almost want to give that up and know that you still have at least another body to, well, disregard all of that. All right, Kath is going to get pushed back. Yep, excellent util indeed. As Stephanie uses the showstopper to get to the back of the site, they should get the spike down with relative ease.
Yeah, that's the site gone, and I don't like that. Well, okay, we do have Sholiana and B main. That's going to be everything for Dig here. And the Molotov set down at stairs. Ooh, this is going to be tough for TSM. The Astro Wall should come into play to initiate things off, but Athena gets picked off before she even puts down any util.
They have to deal with Sholiana somehow. They can't ignore her. And there it is. Zoe goes in aggressive to get the kill. Kath got one onto Emily as well on the site. She's going to get the defuse. Or at least actually probably give it up to Zoe so she can get one step closer to having that ultimate online. Kath already has the Empress. TSM, we mentioned it a couple of rounds ago. We're feeling this shift in momentum, right? They're starting to get the wheels rolling. They're starting to get something going, and they're looking good to potentially give it, what was it, a 4-1 start? For them to finish 7-5 potentially, that's a big win.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was 4-1, and absolutely. And you know, a 4-8 versus a 5-7 just feels different. I know it's just one round, but just mentally, just a doable. That attitude, it shifts, right? So definitely, securing this last round for TSM is gonna mean a lot.
Certainly a difference maker. Look at how aggressively TSM's playing in B main. Look at how much space they're already taking away. They're looking to, they're going to get the ult orb in the hands of Zoe, and they get the kill onto Emily. That should, Zoe, I presume, was going to back up to get that ult orb, but perhaps not. but she is 1 point away from getting that lockdown online, but opting to play safe here. The Cosmic Divide's going to come out towards A. Looks like Dig wants to hit that way, but Potter, they don't have tree control. Stephanie, yeah, this is going to be a very labored attempt to hold this if they can.
Yeah, I wish Dig gave the spike over to Thea so she could have planted. The lockdown could have come into play this round. Unfortunately, that is not the case. It's a 3 versus 5 post-plant scenario, and you're right. This is tough. At least there's some Killjoy util on the spike itself that should buy some time, but Sholiana's got to be a hero here, Doug.
Oh, gosh. She's going to have to indeed. The Cosmic Divide is denying any entry onto the site, so they're going to have to push in through that to make something happen. As it's just down on Thea and on Rain. Thea's trying to peek through. She's going to drop as well. Rain, the last one, trying to make her way through the army of TSM that stood. And... Not even close. Not even close.
Easy.
Switching sides.
But yeah, in all seriousness, there we go. TSM, they make it work. It was looking a little bit grim. Dignitas, Emily started to heat up with over-beaming with confidence, and that can be a scary, scary situation. But at least TSM are able to stop the bleed a little bit, and you know, all of a sudden they win pistol, and things are looking up and up here for TSM.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's the difference. You were talking about a 7-5 versus an 8-4 earlier. That's the difference, right? Is the pistol. If you're at a 7-5, you win the pistol. Realistically, you're talking 7-7. You're right back into this thing. If you're 8-4 and you win the pistol, you're closer, but the gap is still pretty considerable. So you're absolutely right. The 7-5 is a huge difference. But now for TSM, they got to this point. They got to an advantageous situation where they can win the pistol and tie us up. They still have to execute on that. And look at the aggression from Dig. Oh, look at the aggression from Dig. It doesn't pay off. Athena, good for 2.
Beautiful trades, beautiful crossfires for TSM. They were absolutely ready for that. And Kath just being a nuisance towards this mid. And even though she doesn't get the frag, that right there is enough. The pressure. A is completely open. Rain's going sniffing for more. That's huge. Kath does go down, but at least TSM should get the spike down here.
Yeah. And they push into the aggression that Dig showed early on, and that's what allows them that sight to potentially get the spike down, but it's been delayed. Again, Athena is able to get it down. The gravity well keeps her at bay for just a little bit. Oh, Leopanda with it. Oh, no! She had utility out, but the Ghost is still able to clean things up. Dea trades one back. Athena, what do you got?
This is tense.
1v2. Has to go in aggressively towards one. Lands it! Oh, tries to swing, land the shots onto Thea, but no, the Ghost is everything that she needed in that moment. She's going to get the defuse. DSM's not able to win the pistol. Dig should be sitting pretty here.
Oh, man. That's just how fast things can just switch just in an instant. Kath just getting completely caught off guard there. Rain with the perfect proactive re-aggression. Her teammate went down. At least the idea of it went down in mid. Kath got that contact, and Rain just finding the timing perfectly to come out to equalize things. And yeah, TSM are not able to convert that pistol. And they are choosing to kind of half buy into this one here. At least the sheriffs are coming into play.
Yeah, I do like this from TSM, not feeling like they have to fully risk it all. In the sense that, consider this. If they force here, right, and they lose it, they're down for the next 2 rounds. All of a sudden, you're talking 11-5, and Dig is, I mean, they're riding that train all the way. But because they understand that there's still some time to make things out, yeah, you may not win this pistol, but from a financial perspective, you're setting yourself up for the future.
Absolutely.
Concealment.
Looks like TSM just took care of the alarm bot that was placed down in middle. And a regroup probably towards tree? No, it looks like they will come back towards this market area.
Taken out of charges.
Sholiana good for 1. Rain is as well. Sholiana wants more. Ooh, that classic messing her up there, and then Leah Panda's Ghost clean things up, but Emily saves the day yet again. The flank was there from the Spectre in her hands, and again, this is the impact of winning the pistol, right? She was able to get one, their Dig is able to get the pistol, they get the second as well, and now they're sitting on a cozy 4-round lead.
You know what? Sholiana is just a great teammate. She just wanted to give those free eco kills over to Emily. She knows that the run it back is going to be crucial in setting up those pre-takes into the sites here, specifically for Ascent. It's so great. So we'll let that one slide a little bit. Great frags for Emily. And TSM, it seems like they're going to start off with a slow default. Zoe setting up a bit of a trap, waiting for a dart.
It looks like they're trying to work the middle of the map again. The Lear's there, but the alarm bot should go off here in just a moment. And if not that, all right, so it did get cleared out. Sholiana's also going to get some info with the drone. Spots at least one, but no knowledge that Kath is on the other side.
TSM, they did get what they were looking for, though. They got rid of the alarm bot, so they can continue on with their default here. But, man, they've got to do something about this Killjoy util at B. A double pump, something.
I just don't know. I mean, they hear it, so they hear the nanoswarm there. They understand that there's something on the other side. There it is, and Kath just like full walks right through it, tanks it. It's down to 27 health. The kill might flip things, but Thea's already dropped. They should have full access onto the site. Now it's going to be a retake in the hands of Dig. They've got defenders control, spawn control. They have middle of the map control as well. But note the Astra Star just outside of Market. Kath already good for one as well. The damage, man. The damage out of the paint shells in conjunction with the nanoswarm that messed her up just a couple of moments ago makes that so difficult. I think Dig is sitting in a great spot here, but you've got to deal with Athena. You've got to deal with this. You've got to deal with this, and this is why, if left unchecked, just like this, she's blasting through the smoke. Good for one as well. My gosh, it was a firing squad. Open season on members of Dig as TSM take the round.
Great post plant coming through for TSM there. I can't believe that they were able to get into the site with that much utility set up there, but Kath taking one for the team, taking a lot of damage and then even dying to the paint shells. And
she took more than one for the team. She might have taken two for the team.
She absolutely did. Leah Panda coming up huge there in the post plan. We got the Hunter's Fury online here for her as well. And look at Dignitas's money, Doug. They've used every single dollar they had pretty much coming into this round, and this is going to be such a huge swing round. Oh,
what?
Okay.
That was like a magnet. That was nuts. What a shot from Kath.
She's feeling herself.
My goodness, she's on one. So, okay, so let's slow things down. So now they have middle of map control. They still haven't gotten through Arch, though. So the nanoswarm is still there. The alarm bot is still there. So from that, Dig understand they have not taken that area of the map. They're comfortable there. And Thea can play from a bit off, understanding that there's no presence coming that way. The longer the round goes on, the more they realize that a hit has to be towards A.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of pings coming out onto the site here. And that regroup is happening. This is perfect. Dig. They've just pulled Sholiana back towards the B. Only one defender in the site. Rain. It's going to be all up to her. Just a Spectre to her name. And she goes down. Just like that. The trade's coming in thick and fast here for TSM. And Sholiana, she finds one, but at this point, she's already thinking of probably just maybe doing some damage, maybe collecting one more ult orb for herself. But as long as TSM don't make some huge, devastating mistake, this should be their round.
Well, she got one. And oddly enough, it was on the member of TSM who was the weakest. I think Emily had maybe 20 health to her name at that point. So the one stray Vandal bullet manages to get her the kill. But yeah, that was just such a... I mean, that's a brutal spot to be in there.
Oh, and probably attack coming out from Dignitas here. They are broke. It is no
Yep.
joke.
Yep.
They really got to be thinking of what's going wrong here. And to be honest, I mean, Kath getting that kill at Cat, you can't really prepare for that. So it's just kind of unlucky that the round fell apart off the back of that. But
Mhm.
right now, Dig, they're doing a decent job at responding to the mid. The Cat aggression is coming out because Kath is able to break that alarm bot so easily. But I think maybe just fight it this time.
Yeah, something's got to change, right? Like the control, as you were saying, that they initially had around the middle of the map has just been so easily negated. And the funny thing is, it could even be easier, right? Like they know where that alarm bot is. Leah Panda could be dropping a shock dart there to clear it out, but they haven't gone that way. As we're just 15 seconds from kicking the round off, we'll see as far as setup goes how TSM are looking. A little bit more presence towards B. And from Dig, it does not look like it's just going to be a heavy bunch, like a heavy gamble one way or the other, knowing that they have pistols. Oftentimes you'll see teams do that, but this looks like, at least for now, just another round, just like any other one for Dig.
Yeah, except a bit of a mid pounce. I like the smokes coming out from Rain. A flashbang and a dart is going to be timed, and here it is, a pounce, but Kath finds another kill off that Cat. That angle, it's just her bread and butter right now. She's one-tapping. There's her second. Just regenning her health right now. The nuisance that is Reyna is coming into full effect here, and there it is. Flawless. Some damage came out across the board, but TSM, they were completely ready for that pounce.
They were indeed a secret lab flawless coming through, and now TSM one round away from tying this bad boy up. If you're Dig, we talked about how the previous round they were, I mean, absolutely broken. They should be in a better spot here, and yeah, they are. I think the other thing to keep in mind here, Potter, is they do have three notable ultimates and 1 point away from having the lockdown and the Cosmic Divide online. So they've got something cooking. TSM does as well. This round is going to be a banger.
Absolutely, and this this B tunnel area will be a huge point of contention.
Oh
for
boy,
sure. Oh, Emily, this has been Kath and Emily just bash sistering it up rather towards this mid area.
Yeah, but it's a fake. It's just to draw attention, right? Because the spike was never along the middle of the map. There was never intentions to go that way. They wanted to go away. They wanted to pull the rotations off of the site and then have Leah Panda rotate over. Oh, but Thea's great on the read. She's able to get one. Athena trades out Rain. Thea looking for more. Cat's in a great spot. We talked about how she's feeling it so far. Has the Empress in her back pocket. The plan is denied. The Hunter series. Oh, here comes the curveball. Cat, messed up. Oh, Emily's able to clean her up. Zoe's going hunting as well. Not going to get anything. They drew up something aggressive. They drew up something different. And Dig very comfortably handle it to give them a 2-round lead.
Yeah, and the fact that they still have majority of their ultimates online. I think they just used the Showstopper and the Hunter's Fury there. They still got the KJ. They still got the Run It Back. But Emily, the timing here, just unfortunate. I mean, if she broke that glass and made it through just a second earlier, things would have looked very differently. A beautiful flashbang coming through for Emily and a cleanup. That's exactly what Dig needed here.
And they kept the Showstopper. So they still have 4 key ultimates online. Again, TSM does as well. And because they've been able to win the last couple of rounds, they're still able to buy up in full armor, full rifles across the board. This is going to be another good one. Now, much like the previous round, they're exploiting the middle of the map. But this time, it's a slightly different look. The spike is cheating towards B. You've also got Zoe taking the main control to creep up. They certainly want to go that way, Potter.
Man, Stephanie, she shines in these moments.
Cat is stuck.
Oh,
how is she still alive?
That's some great help coming from her teammate there.
Stephanie in logs. She's going to get cleaned up. She was in a great spot. Choliana's going to get mowed over as well. As kills are just traded back and forth. And look at the nuisance that Athena is here. She's made her way all the way back into A. Because of that, Thea has to respect that. They don't know. Now they're going to be able to rotate over because they see the spike is down. And again, Kath is somehow still alive in a brutal spot. She's going to get traded out. Athena's left alone. Now, this is winnable, right? Thea's only got 11 health, but she just doesn't have the spike.
30 seconds left.
Double mollies. That's the one orb that Athena had left to her disposal. She knows where the one player is. Doesn't expect to double up backside. She has to go to B here, Doug. There's no time left on the clock. That should be the tell for her that both players are backside. She saw Phoenix and now she saw the turret.
Drops down. Sound cues there. Time was running out. An excellent setup from Thea and from Emily to secure them the round. 11-8 in favor of Dig. And that round, I mean, with the ultimates that they had, with the rifles and the armor that they both had, that was exactly what we expected to see, right? It was hot, it was heavy, it was right off the bat, and it went down to like nanoseconds at the end.
Yeah, definitely. And oh man, you know, TSM, they were on a upward trajectory in the second half, but they got to do something about these ults that Dig are holding on to. They got to make these ladies use something into this round at least to make the rest of this half seem doable at least.
Quiet, slow and steady few moments. A stark difference from what we saw in the previous round, where now TSM on the attack are playing this far more quietly, far more carefully. And even with that, it may be quiet and it may be careful, but they're taking space away. Look at how Athena's already posted up into wine, so they're going to have a long control. And they haven't showed a ton to suggest that that's where the hit's going to be. That's why you still got Stephanie and you've got Choliana towards B.
And this time around, no lurks. No funky business coming in for TSM. It's just Choliana holding the top mid, but all four members, really all five, are going to be focusing towards this A. And here comes the hit.
That should be all the info that Dig need to rotate over. The door's going to come down. TSM have gotten onto the site. They're going to get the spike down. An alarm bot at the door to make sure there's nothing coming through. Also, keep an eye on Leah Panda. She's in a great spot to deny any sort of flank. But you saw from TSM, they showed mid and then they backed off. They were just making sure nobody was playing on them on the flank. Now, there is a Cosmic Divide and the lockdown as well, along with the Hunter Fury. Stephanie, finally, all of the ultimates are coming out. So far, nothing doing quite yet. The lockdown's going to drop. The showstopper didn't connect onto anything. It's the kill feed bleeds as Athena gets 3. Leah Panda in a 1v2, good for 1. And she's got util. Choliana on the defuse. Oh my gosh, she might stick it. Oh my gosh, she's gonna stick it. She's behind the generator. No freaking way. Like a thief, she just robs them. Like a thief in the night, takes the round away from TSM.
Oh man, the cojones to stick that right then. Oh, that's so unfortunate because I've been talking about Leah Panda and her drone all day long and how impactful it's been. Right then, as soon as the tap comes through, I think Leah Panda was afraid that she was going to be really close up to her, so she didn't want to use the drone. But when that tap comes through, I think she could have cleared that angle with the drone and saw that she was stuck or sticking it and made those shock darts work a little bit more in her favor. But golly, that was so close. Dig. Closing it out. Ooh, this is sneaky.
Yep. Very sneaky. They managed to get past the alarm bot without giving any information up. So Kat has gone in pretty aggressively, and Emily, even with that in mind, sniffs it out, cleans things up. One of the star duelists on the side of TSM out for what could potentially be the last round of the map.
Yeah, all TSM have to work with is the Astral Wall and the knives, but we haven't seen the knives have that much impact on Ascent thus far, and here comes the hit. It's coming through. This dart is going to be everything. Someone's got to hit that dart. There it is.
Stephanie's got to go big. She's alone, and it's a defense of the Alamo, baby. She's already gotten 2 by herself, and she's continuing to look for more. Not able to line up the third as Zoe cleans her up. But TSM have gotten onto the site, and they're pulling in. We've talked about this, right? The retake coming in from different angles. They've got mid, they've got attacker side, and defender side. And they've got the Cosmic Divide to pin them back. The one thing is that Zoe is a little bit further up The lockdown ticking away. It looks like it's going to go off, so it's going to buy them a little bit of time. But now here comes the attempt at a retake. Zoe, good for one. Thea trades it out. Athena drops as well. Dig, they force map 3, and what a heck of a performance it was indeed.
Nice answer back coming out from Dignitas here. And you know, Doug, we talked about it in the pre-show before the match went live, is that Dig, they should look a lot more comfortable. And I gotta say, they look really comfortable on this map. I mean, Stephanie absolutely coming online, and I feel like Ray's it's just natural for her. She's so aggressive. She knows exactly when to use that utility when she needs to. And that was beautiful coming out from Dig here.
I mean, she got a blast pack kill, right? Like, it was an excellent performance. And I think if there's one moment that we can point to that I'm sure we'll talk about on the other side of the break, you have to remember there was a break, a pause that Dig called, and that felt like that's when it shifted. That's when everything turned their way. Who knows what was happening in the comms, what Emily was saying to the team, what XP3 was saying in there as well. Like, but that felt like the turning point where everything shifted. Folks, we're going to cut to a quick break. When we return, we're going to break down more of this map and get you all hot and bothered for map 3. Don't go anywhere.
tonight just yet. It's Dignitas versus TSM. One of these teams are going home tonight. It's going to battle out for our last map of the evening. So, Doug, woo! That TSM comeback there in the middle, all right? It was looking like it could have been something for them. Where did it crumble?
Man, that's an excellent question, Lucy. They had something cooking, and it seemed like they had Dig's number on that second half where they were really kind of able to rotate around Dig. Dig kind of had no options. They weren't able to easily get onto sites, but it was something in that break and that might have been all it needed to be, right? It was like a break where they just like calm down, slow down. We know what our plan is. We're good on this map. We know what we like to do. Just get back to basics, and that seems to be exactly what they needed.
Yeah, Potter, does this kind of impress you? You called this. You saw Dignitas taking this map for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, you know, sometimes that's all it takes is a little bit of a breather. And I'm sure their communication with each other is very much like, oh, come on, guys. We know we're better than these guys. Let's just stick to our game plan. Just reassuring each other, just reverbalizing, I think, making sure everyone's on the same page. Even though at the start you think you are, just reminding each other of those small details can really make a big difference.
Okay, Potter, I always defer to you because of, you know, you're currently competing in Valorant yourself. That 20th round Dignitas ninja defuse. I mean, pros don't fake. I say ninja, but it's like pros don't fake, right? How can you guesstimate about what her heart rate was at when she was diffusing there?
I mean, the heart rate, I always say the word clenchy. You're very much clenched in that position.
Full clench.
So full clench for sure. And yeah, it takes a lot of cojones to be able to pull off plays like that.
Complete frozen, just like holding fort. All right. Well, Eddie, let's give our viewers, if you happen to be just joining us, first of all, where have you been all day? We're in the last map. Second of all, let's take a look at what's gone down so far and where we're going into to round out the evening. Imagine we were a different map. I'm Split. Breeze Ascent already down. We're now 1-1, going to Split. Now, Potter, who do you think this map favors the most?
Oof, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. I'm gonna say Dignitas only off the fact that I know Stephanie's gonna be back on the Raze, and again, Stephanie's Raze is just it is incredible to watch. She gets a lot of value out of everything she does on that agent, and I think she's gonna be unstoppable. And TSM need to find an answer for her.
Yeah,
I think the answer is Kath, right? Like there were a couple of moments in that map where she just put the team on her back. She said, listen, we're going, whether or not you're ready to go, whether or not you want to go, I'm taking us across that line. And it's got to be more of that heroic performance. The thing about Kat's there is that's what the team needs her to do, right? That's the role that she's in. That's the agent that she's playing. If she can continue to lean into that, I think this map's going to be a really good one. There's a whole lot to say about Stephanie and the Rays. We talked about it some in the prior to the break. TSM, I think they've got a lot going for them as well, and it's their pick.
Woo, but Stephanie's so cracked on Raze. But it doesn't matter what we think. What's gonna actually happen here on Split? You guys know the drill. It's off to the SIG Agent Selects. I'm gonna hand it to you all.
Thank you, Lucy. Yes, just a couple of moments away from closing this bad boy out, and the series is delivered. Potter, you and I were talking prior to the series starting, and you called it, right? Like you straight up said, Doug, this is going to be a banger. We're going to go the distance. It's going to go 3 maps. And alas, Potter Damas, she's predicting it all.
Yeah, I think both of these teams are definitely equally matched. And again, in my own head, I've made some drama here, Doug. And, Kath, she used to be on Dig. She was on there for quite a while. They won some tournaments together. So definitely the fact that... Yeah, she's veered off now. She's made her own team. She's the in-game leader. Now she's got full control. So, I mean, her fate is in her own hands to be able to prove her worth and to, well, not really prove her worth, but to make her own statement, right? Write her own story moving forward here. And the same for Dig. I mean, these ladies have been winning in CSGO. Now they're starting to make their mark in Valorant. So this is an exciting series. I'm glad and thankful that we get to see a map 3 here.
You and I both, and I'm sure the rest of the fans agree as well. Here's a little spice to pile it on here. When we talk about Split in particular, both teams have a 5-4 record, right? Like they both They seem to perform at a very average rate on this map. It's a decent map for them, but it's not the best. It's not like they excel on it. And as far as compositions go, we got a little something cooking up here. Athena's going to be back on the Astra. Kath, this time not on the Reyna, but still in the Star Duelist role. And we've got Emily off the Jet here onto the Sage. I think Sage is just such an important pick on this map. It's really, it's almost a mirror composition. Rain is going to be opting for the Omen in place of the Astra, and then Thea on the Cypher instead of Killjoy.
Yeah, I think the Astra Omen conversation on Split, it's a tough one, right? That paranoia is so clutch at stopping rushes, but at the same time, so are the sucks, right? So I know me and my team, we've also had very, very many conversations about which one would be more optimal, but here we are. We see both teams opting for Omen and Astra.
Yeah, it's interesting, and obviously this conversation is going to change a lot after this weekend, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, this is the last major tournament that this patch is played on, and then Astra has had a notable amount of changes. Utility's gone up everywhere across the board, so it's going to be a good one. But for now, we can finally, or at least this might be it, where we put this conversation to rest. Omen, Astra, what's it, Bay? I also love the breach play. I love the emphasis that both teams have placed on this agent. You see Emily, has put the wall up. It's going to get that orb in her pocket, and that wall is such a pain in the rear on pistol rounds because you just don't have the weaponry to easily clear it out. It takes you what seems like 36 years to get through that thing.
36 years, but a couple of slice and dices with the shanks, and TSM are able to handle that one for now. But yeah, things have just kind of come to a standstill as TSM kind of regroup. You can see Kath, she's all the way in spawn, making a beeline all the way back towards this B site area. But that's exactly where most of the Dig members are right now.
And that Cypher cam is going to give decent idea of what's happening across the middle of the map. If they work their way into into mail, they'll know that that's where the hit's coming from. And that is the cue right there. The Cypher cages are going to go up. Thea drops down. She's good for one. Stephanie on the raise. Utility again. Gets a second as Thea trying to blast through the Cypher cages. Gets another one. Aggression out of Stephanie. Netted her a kill, but then also cost her her life. Zoe's the last one standing on the side of TSM. She's got the spike, and she's making her way all the way across the map. Rain might get the timing. Zoe having to stick the fight to him, but there's a whole cavalry on the other side. Emily gets the kill. Did get the pistol.
Securing the round. I love it. Man, that was just a trap that Dignitas were absolutely ready to unleash everything on, and unfortunately TSM fell right into it. And man, Stephanie, just look at that forward aggression. It's unfortunate that for her the timing was a little bit off. She knew that the breach flash was on the way and she wanted to have a clip for herself, and you know what, I'm loving it. I think she's starting to get activated. She got wiped out, but hey, it's okay. She's ready for the battle here.
And we're going to see a lot of this breach battle. Speaking of battles, we're going to see a lot of breach utility exchange across the garage here because it's such an important area of the map. It's easy access into orb control. You can easily get to B, especially if you have mid control as well. So keep an eye on both Sholiana and Leah Panda investing the fault lines right off the bat to take space. Right there, we saw the ult orb go in the pockets of TSM. So that battle goes in favor of them. We'll see how the rest of the war plays out.
Absolutely. And Emily tried to get a timing, tried to beat the boombot, but the jig was up there. And
Trips.
I'm surprised how far they've made it, actually. TSM, if one frag goes their way here, things could get real dicey for Dig. It's a nice little elevator.
Yeah, fun little interaction. You take a ride all the way up, come right back down, much like TSM is going right back down. A secret lab flawless for Dignitas. The gun difference was very evident, and also the utility positioning was great from Dig. They had tripwires to ensure that nobody was going to make their way through ropes. Excellent round by Dig.
Excellent indeed, and that's definitely going to mean a lot for their economy moving forward as well. TSM, this is it. These are the toughest rounds, I think, especially for Split, is the very first gun round. You don't have much. You may not have your full util set. You definitely don't have any ults to work off of. So you have to purely go off of a default, because the last thing you want is to run into another trap when you've invested this heavily into some Stephanie paint shell, right? Just like it happened on Pistol. So definitely spreading out and seesawing a little bit is the name of the game, but Sholiana is under a lot of pressure.
No. Oh, Stephanie, it's tough to say if Sholiana managed to flash Stephanie, but either way, Stephanie does drop. TSM sitting comfortable here. This is Dignitas' bonus, so they have Spectres across the board, and they're starting to regroup. Athena's opened up all of A, leaving 2 members remaining on the side of Dig. And it looks like they're going to try to chase him down. The thing is, no area of the... My gosh, no area... That probably shouldn't happen. No area of the map is safe, especially towards A, because of the space that Athena was able to take away. She's back in spawn, a defender spawn, attacker spawn, nothing safe. They're going to have to work their way in through heaven, Potter.
Yeah, things are dicey. I mean, Sholiana, she has 1 flashbang at least off her back. Athena is low, but... Oh, I like this. To double up back towards screen. Flashbang coming through. Oh, Athena
kill.
caught StarCrafting.
All right, that's one check. All of a sudden, this becomes far more possible. Maybe not realistic, but certainly more possible. They've got 2 members on site that they're going to have to deal with. Zoe, good for 1, also has the lockdown in her back pocket. Leah Panda gets the last one as Sholiana tried making it interesting, but the 2 remaining members of TSM get them the round.
Good stuff from TSM. The pounce onto the mailroom there just caught Sholiana completely off guard. And you're right, Doug. I mean, if that flash came just a split second earlier, things could have looked completely different. Thea doesn't get picked off for free. But TSM, they knew the name of the game. I mean, so many times you'll catch Breach with his arm out, just kind of holding a choke point, and being able to pounce on him like that and just take away that space. Very detrimental.
So you're starting to see TSM call the bluff, right? We mentioned the breach util earlier. Oftentimes it's to take space away, but TSM's not respecting that Dig will take some of that space away. They drop the fault line, but then Athena goes in anyway, right? Very quiet, manages to get through and potentially farm that ult orb. That's something we need to keep an eye on, as Rain stops a little bit of aggression coming in through ropes.
It's always fun when it's Breach versus Breach there, just trading flashes back and forth. Little Breach diff action, and the timing for Sholiana almost gets a 2-piece. Rain, this re-aggression is everything. That's the spike down.
Spike down, excellent positioning from Rain. Zoe, who had the lockdown in the previous round, has it this round as well, and in a 1v3 doesn't have the spike in hand, and all of Dig is squatting on it. Can't imagine a world in which she's using it here. That said, she does have a turret, and she can isolate some of these gunfights, so if she can get into 1v1s, she might make something happen. Sholiana, just to be sure, adding a couple more bullets to clean up the round for Dig.
You always want to be sure, Doug. You always want to thirst and make sure you get yours. So I respect that, Sholiana. You get yours. But here we are. Dig with an answer right back. And, you know, that focus towards mid, it's kind of a clap back, right? The previous round, TSM were able to pounce. They were able to catch Sholiana off guard. This time around, she brought some backup. And that re-aggression, that mid-round aggression from Rain to retake that vent area was huge for Dig.
Huge indeed. And look at the adaptation from Dig. The previous round, it was Athena who crept her way in after the fault line came out and got a kill onto Stephanie. This time, understanding that TSM's comfortable playing through that, they invest the wall in the hands of Emily. Yeah, it gets torn down, but now they have excellent knowledge of where TSM may be because of everything that was invested, the ruckus that was caused in order to clear that wall out. Excellent adaptation from Dig. Excellent adaptation from TSM. This fault line garage chess match that's going on is just so much fun to watch.
It absolutely is. And, you know, there's a lot of traps that you can set up with the Sage Wall as well, you know? I mean, you kind of let your opponents get into a comfort of just conditioning them to break that wall instant. And then the next round, maybe 2 times after, you bring the Rays over with you and drop a paint shell slow orb at the same time. So definitely some conditioning coming through by placing that wall in different positions here. And
30
they
seconds left.
just honor Cam, watching everything in 4K right now. Smoke's going down. This paranoia is going to be everything for Rain.
Oh, Thea also excellent one-way. My goodness, what a play from Thea. It was excellently set up. Athena looking to play spoiler, though. 11 seconds left. They've got to get through this. Athena and Cass both do, but they're not going to be able to get this fight down with only 5 seconds left. Emily cleans up the kill just to make sure there are no other shenanigans that ensue. Dig gets a 4. TSM, other than the bonus round, they've struggled on this map.
Okay, but Kath just had a feel-good frag. And, you know, I always say those feel-good frags is just, that starts to snowball sometimes. And she just, Satchel just clapped Thea in the sight with that Sheriff. And, I mean, you know, that's her first frag on the board. And that's sometimes all it takes to kind of get yourself back invested into the match. So hopefully that starts to get the ball rolling here for Kath. She's just one ult orb away from that showstopper. The same wall goes down for Emily. And Kath is aggressive right now.
Yeah, that wall goes up on a... Sholiana holds her fault line, so that was not invested into Garage. They're going to get the ult orb in the pockets of Leah Panda, who now has the Rolling Thunder online. An excellent tool to get entry onto the site, but the spikes over towards B. The thing is, for TSM, they've taken a lot of space on A. They broke through the wall. They have ramps control, and now Dig knows that they're there, so you're going to see some of that pull off. But how do they play this out?
Ooh, this is great for TSM. They've already used Thea's first cage. They've broken one of her trips. And they're just applying pressure, but you see that the A side is already theirs. Athena, she snaked her way in.
But they can't... They have to hold this space, or else they're going to have to double back.
Oh!
Athena gets cleaned up. No, she was in a great spot. This was what I was talking about. They needed to hold that space, but with only 30 seconds left, it seems like they certainly have to commit to this site. The spike just now making its way into plantable area. Emily wisely sniffing out the lurk coming out from Thea. Leah Panda gets the spike down, and they still have 2 very important ultimates online.
Oh boy, 2 versus 4. Sholiana is kind of limping right now, and Emily just finishes her off. Wow, majority of the TSM members are just kind of limping through, but they convert it, and that was a beautiful default from them. I mentioned the fact that Thea's cages and Trip was down at B, and that sort of communication when it comes through to your team, you just kind of automatically try to start shifting towards B. You think that's where the hit is going to come, and that opens up so many windows for Athena. And even though she whiffs, I mean, it doesn't matter. That sort of real estate, it's valuable. TSM absolutely capitalized.
All right, this should be an interesting round. Everyone has ultimates, with the exception of Kath, who's 1 point away from having the showstopper. But if you're Dig in this weird mix buy where you've got 3 Spectres, a Ghost, and a Sheriff, certainly not what you want to work with, but holy utility investment. The pain shells, though, are critical. In that moment, you could see the aggression that wanted to follow up, but the pain shells keep them at bay. TSM working their way onto B. Emily clearing out the... Oh, no, she's still been revealed. They're dancing around this pillar. Here comes the showstopper. Stephanie going in. Zoe was trying to play spoiler. She gets cleaned up. Emily does as well. And now Athena's on the flank. Athena's on the flank, working her way in through Mail. She's not going to get anything out of that, as it's just Kath in a 1v5. Thea gets 3, a Virus Thrifty for Dignitas.
That fell apart so quickly for MLE there and TSM. You could see that she didn't know whether she should take the cam out, whether she should plant the spike, whether she should trade her teammate. There was just so many different things going on, and she had the res the whole time. So beautiful showstopper once again coming out from Stephanie at the right moment, at the right time. And Dignitas, another thrifty. We've been seeing a lot of thrifties here, Doug.
We have indeed. How TSM play this again? They still have all of those ultimates available. Now they don't need to farm this ult orb because they're all online, which means they should be able to take some of the space away very quietly if they choose to do so. You see Rain, like, timing, around timing. They should be, if they're going to play around there, they should be at that spot. Couple of bursts into the cloud, nothing connects. Oh, it's a bait. Oh, Potter, it's a bait.
This should work out pretty great, actually. Athena's already in the site. Dignitas have already fallen for a B fake before, though. So Thea, she's not biting. She's still towards the A. The information is out. Dig, they know.
They know indeed. Oh my gosh, it's going to be fire on the back. And yes, indeed, Kath drops. Stephanie does as well. The lockdown's going to come out as Zoe trying to keep that bad boy alive and buy them some time. You hear the ult coming out from Rain as she gets back towards the attacker spawn. So we're starting to see some of that split, but Athena's on the flank. Athena, good for one. Athena looking for the second. Playing very carefully. She lands. She delivers. Thea drops. The res is going to come through as well onto Kath as numbers heavily swing in favor of TSM. And they still have 2 key ultimates in their back pockets. Now Sholiana has a showstopper of her own, but in a situation like this, do you even really go for it? No. A round win for TSM, and a pretty one at that.
What a round coming out for TSM. Athena to start things off, to sell the fake by herself. And she's the one to kind of end the round with the 2-piece for herself. Perfectly set up by Zoe's Killjoy ultimate in such a forward position as well. I mean, just a beautifully orchestrated round coming out here for TSM.
Beautifully orchestrated round indeed. And now look at how they're stacked up. Heavy presence onto A. They've got Kath and they've got Leah Panda with ultimate, so they could dial up something pretty dicey here. They can take some space away. Here comes the Rolling Thunder. Comes in. No! Rain stops it. The showstopper needed to deliver there, and Rain stops it dead in its tracks. She trades her life for it, but the damage has been done. That ultimate's not going to be a factor. Leah Panda does manage to get onto the site, and the spike goes down. Emily's going to wall up defender spawn to ensure nobody's coming in that way. That's going to make things for a very spicy retake. They're all going to be coming in from the attacking side. Zoe looking for a little something as Athena is as well. The fight on ramps ensues, so far being traded back and forth as Athena still buy time. Here's the thing. It's either through ramps or they have to come in through heaven, and there's a perfect setup for Leah Panda to keep things at bay there as well, along with Emily. There's Leah Panda, good for one. This is such an excellent setup from TSM. They had to get through Athena, and they do. Rain looking to move things forward. But it's got to be more. Thea gets one as well. Leah Panda needs to go heroic. Leah Panda with 3, and the spike continues to tick away. I don't know that there's going to be enough time. No, there's not. And just to be sure, Leah Panda gets the kill and the round win for TSM.
Oh, it was so close. It was so close, Doug. My goodness, I thought TSM were going to actually lose out that round off the back of the labored spray coming out from Zoe, but I mean, Dig even felt that. They expended the res into this round thinking it was theirs, but man, Leah Panda just finishing things off. That was so close, Doug.
Leah Panda went bonkers, man, and she had to in that moment. All right, we're back. We're back to the dueling breaches, to the dueling fault lines across Garage. Now that TSM doesn't have any member with an ultimate online, any orb that you can pick up is a good one. Love that. Love the fake smoke used to just buy enough time, right, to clear space. And if you're on the other side, you have to respect that. That split second of denial of information, you don't know what's on the other side of that. Yes, Thea's cam helps that out, but you have to respect that there's something possible. That's why Thea pops in her cam. That's where she spots those 2 members.
Absolutely. And Zoe finds a good timing in mid, picks off Emily. And this is just a decent spread once again for TSM. They've been doing a fantastic job at this default. The 2 buddies towards B, Kath on her lurk towards A ramps. That's a beautiful flash, but she's able to tuck.
What a kill.
Back up.
This is a fake too, Potter. Right? Like, it's all just noise that's being created on A. Look on your mini-map. The spike has gotten into B. There are 2 members there. You see Zoe's joining the fold as well, so they should be able to get the spike down. Big kill from Rain for them to try to keep things in a semi-respectable situation. But if you're Stephanie, you've got to be careful here. You've got to wait for your team. But there's no team coming because Athena stopped it. Thea is able to trade that out. That leaves Thea alone in a 1v3, 45 health. No util to work with anymore. Brutal spot.
lot for Thea to do here. 10 more seconds for that cam. Maybe she can get away with at least one more kill, do a little bit of damage. That fault line's gonna make it even more difficult. Leah Panda has just been such a nuisance. The breach diff coming in strong right now. And TSM, they've won the last 4 rounds in a row?
Yeah,
Or is
something
that
like
5 in a row?
We'll see the timeline will pop up here. Either way, the point you're making is legit, right? Like TSM's clicking, right? They've got the ball rolling. They're feeling themselves. And right on time, it calls a timeout. We have to remember in the previous map, they called a timeout when TSM had the ball rolling, and that was exactly what they needed for momentum to shift the other way. We'll see if that's the case this time around.
Should be a healthy buy here. We've got the breach ultimate coming into play in this round. I'd be curious to see if Dig really changed things up, changed the pace. As I mentioned before, TSM, they've been spread out across the map. They've been defaulting 2 towards B, 2 towards A, while Zoe is just kind of holding them back towards this mid area. It'd be interesting if Sholiana just starts off the round with this breach ult. Maybe just completely isolates the B tunnel members. Oh, that's a...
Very interesting.
Okay, that countdown kind of freaked me out. We still got 10 seconds left with the barriers.
Well, but the very interesting thing is look at the difference in setup from Dig. Look at where Sholiana is now. She's been outside of Garage this entire half. Now she's playing on the other side. They've got spidey senses that something's happening on A. But here comes a little something from TSM towards A, and there's the counter rolling thunder. It's going to push them back. They read that just right. Rain swinging out. She's been CC'd. She's still able to get the kill onto Cass. Lee Panda slowly creeping away up, but it's a fake yet again, Potter. The marionette strings, they're just dancing, playing around with them like puppets as they manipulate the rotations, as they get them to bite, and then they go elsewhere on the map. TSM's on B.
Oh man, TSM, just a misdirection coming up huge, and still the flank coming in for Leah Panda. It's just such a nuisance right now. And she gets another!
She can't get away with this. She can't continue to get away with this. Stephanie looking to fight for the retake. Spots one onto Zoe. That's a start. That's a good start. But there's still somebody who's playing backside. Athena's on a big spot here. Yeah, the gravity well is good for one. She's got a chance at that's a second. Whoa, just narrowly missing. Leah Panda's going to drop as well as Emily cleans her up. Thea's going to get the defuse. The pause, once again, was at just the right time as Dig stopped the bleeding.
Oh my goodness, so many moving pieces coming into this round. I gotta say, even though Rain didn't end the round with a single frag, she's probably the MVP in this round. Well, no, she did get a frag. She got a frag while
Big one.
Breach ulted, right? But it was her paranoia in the beginning of the round that was so key, so clutch. You saw Cap just satcheling through with the Breach ult right behind her, trying to pounce, trying to make a quick frag happen for herself, but that paranoia timing was perfect. It made Cap useless, and she got punished for it. So really good stuff here coming out from Dig to just stop TSM's initial execute.
Path blasting away across the fault line, going in aggressive. She spotted Rain, but the flash forces her back to safety.
Emily should have a good idea that Zoe's been here, just defaulting every single round. Be interesting to know if she knows that she's alone. Stephanie making the aggressive play, but unfortunately she gets traded out by Cap's paint shells. And Thea's under another amount of pressure. The interesting thing here is that Thea's been under this amount of pressure almost throughout every round in the beginnings. TSM have been defaulting towards here.
The
This
thing
is a
is,
full-on hit.
Yeah, she couldn't get back into back sight because of the sight line coming in from Garage that there was no way to counter. So yeah, they've gotten onto the site. They've managed to do so. The wall's going to go up as well. It's going to be a retake coming out from Dig as the spike still hasn't been planted. The spike still hasn't been planted. They funneled onto the site. Emily has to go big here. She's going to get cleaned up. It's just down to Athena. She's got a Vandal. Sholiana and Rain are both weak. So this is certainly doable. Good for one. Oh, The noise, the timing, there's just not enough going on there. Rain comes up big for 3. Did get to 7-5 at half, and again, the bleeding stopped Potter. It did not look good. TSM had won 3 in a row. The timeout comes in at just the right moment.
Oh, once again, the timeouts. You keep mentioning it, Doug, but that's how crucial it's been for Dig. The fact that you're able to stop the bleeding and at such a crucial time. Man, Athena, this time around in that last round, her lurk did not pay off. She was way late to the party. And TSM, they didn't even get the plant in that last round.
Such a good use of utility, such an excellent response. The last 2 rounds going in favor of Dig. The thing is, we talked about 7-5 and how important that is. I think the bit more important thing here is that Dig's on the attack here. With the lead on split, that's a pretty spot to be in. Emily, and looked like she might have intentionally been trying to ride that elevator all the way up.
Oh!
They've slipped right off, but I love that combo, and it delivers the kill.
Wombo combo indeed. Athena even getting control here as well. Everything kind of happening at once on different parts of the map, but TSM, a clever little set piece there, right behind the sage wall, gets them the complete advantage. And Rain, I mean, all of Dig, they're all kind of separated. I mean, Breach is gonna catch up to Rain here in a little bit, but look at Stephanie. She's on the complete opposite side of the map.
The nice thing is that they have time, right? Dig still has time in their favor, but thank you for the observers to point that out. You're right, that turret's going to give away everything the second they clear out Garage. A little bit of aggression, a big kill from Stephanie with the frenzy across the middle of the map, and Athena drops through the smoke as well. All of a sudden, we've got a round on our hands at 3v3 as Rain manages to get the spike down.
Whoa, and Stephanie's position is so key. Kath, she's looking for her. She knows she's got to find her. And
That's
oh
huge.
my goodness, Stephanie.
No charges.
Look at how they had to play that out, right? They fully let go of the spike. They fully forgot about the site because they had to take care of her. They've taken care of that. Now they're going to turn their attention back onto the site. An excellent crossfire from both Rain and Sholiana. The flash is going to come out. The swing is there as well. A little bit more coming out from Sholiana as the spike continues to tick away. Emily on the tap. The crossfire was there. Sholiana comes up big for Dig.
That burns. Man, Dig did so well to win this pistol, but TSM had full control, 5 versus 3. I mentioned the fact that Dig were all separated. The only play Steph had was to get a lurk kill in mid, but the fact that Sholiana gets a burst kill through the smoke on the entry as well, that's just icing on the cake, man. That's Dignitas converting yet another pistol here. Wow.
Huge performance out of Dig. They've got they've got SMGs, no force up coming in from TSM. They're going to work the middle of the map. Stephanie blasts her way through with the paranoia to follow things up. They're going to clear that out as well. And TSM wisely aggressing on the opposite side of the map, understanding there's pressure coming in. They'll take some space away themselves.
A has just gotten completely bullied off of A. But Dig, they know that the members of TSM are pushed towards A, so they go out towards rope. That's a good flash, but timing's a little bit off. Emily, she's all alone. She's got to come up huge. The classic burst. How OP is it?
Not that OP. Sholiana spotting a couple of members of TSM. Rain on the swing. Rain with the Spectre. Rain good for it. Athena's going to drop as well. So Dig holds serve. They get the round that they should get. Now TSM's able to respond in kind. Now they're going to have rifles and armor to what should be slightly lesser weaponry from Dig. The one advantage that they do have going for them is that they did drop 2 members, so they are those 2 members should be able to pull in rifles into this round.
This is it. Dig, I mean, with this type of weaponry, usually you see a little bit more of a fast-paced round to kind of get in their faces, make those Spectres come into play, but Dignitas are going a little bit slower here. Kind of feeling out the round.
Potter, tell me a bit more. What's the advantage to playing aggressively when you've got SMGs in a situation like this?
Well, it's just kind of like that pack leader mentality, right? You got power in numbers. Generally speaking, in the beginnings of the rounds, you can automatically assume that the defenders are going to be in a zone position. As I say this, TSM, they're aggressing towards this mid. We'll have to touch on that point a little bit later because the action's coming out. Thea, she will get some timing here on Astra potentially, but that Killjoy turret is going to give the information.
Real pretty setup there. Stephanie going in aggressive, taking ramps control. And you see Athena's going to have to cower down. She's got nothing but 26 health, but she's in a great spot. She's in a great spot. The discipline, no. Emily drops down, gives her the business from the top rope as Athena gets dropped. Now it's on Sholiana. Trying to rotate around as Emily's going to get the spike down. Kath, Leah Panda, and Emily, the remaining members of TSM, trying to crack their way onto the site. Take a look again at Sholiana. She's in a great spot. The drop down cleans them up. Now all of it is on Sholiana's shoulders. She's got a little bit of CC. Kath's going to tap the defuse. She might stick it. They're going to stick it, and it's not going to matter. Leah Panda cleans up Sholiana. TSM get the round win.
Beautiful stuff coming through there for TSM. And man, things got pretty hairy there for a little bit. It's good that Emily actually wins out that fight in mid early. And that allows things to actually look strong. But Athena, man, she almost had a round for herself. It's unfortunate she was so low, and it is also unfortunate that Stephanie was not able to find a time to reload. But whew, Dignitas able to, or TSM rather, able to stop the bleeding a little bit there.
Right, and remember that was, folks, remember that was Dig's bonus, right? So now because they did have 2 members who had rifles in the previous round, now you see them back on Spectres, while the rest of the remaining members of Dig who had Spectres in the previous round now are going to have rifles. So you see some of that economy kind of balance out and swing out. Also worth noting, there it is, Leah Panda does have the Rolling Thunder in her back pocket.
And that comboed with the Showstopper can be so deadly. So it'll be curious to see when these ladies bring that back out. Zoe's so blind. This Judge, though.
Yep. The Judge delivers even through the paranoia. Stephanie tried going in aggressive, got cleaned up. Thea takes care of Athena as Zoe finally drops with a classic, no less, as she's no longer around for the site. Numbers advantage in favor of Dig as Rain's going to get the spike down. Thea holding things down from top ramps, forcing the oh no. They have to respect it, right? But there's nowhere to go. Kat doesn't get anything with the Showstopper.
And now she might think hell is clear. Sholiana might get some incredible timing here. The breach ult even used, but it doesn't hit anyone, Doug.
Emily drops. Panda does as well. All remaining members of TSM drop. There was so much. Potter, I'm actually going to hand it directly to you. There's so much to talk about with those ultimates in that round.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of miscomm. I think they were very, very convinced that the ladies of Dig were playing the post plant behind the screen, behind the map, but majority of them were towards elbow, and that's generally where you see the breach ult used. So it's very curious where the breakdown of that communication went, but even the fact that that Showstopper hardly did even a lick of damage to Sholiana in the hell area. Just a number of unfortunate things coming out from TSM, but the pounce for Dig, Thea's been defaulting towards this A ramp, towards this A heaven almost every single round. It looked like a normal, slow and steady default, and all of a sudden Dig just pounced onto the A site, really caught TSM off guard. That's a beautiful shot coming out from Stephanie.
Hey, that's just gross, man. The Prime Vandal. There it is. It just does things that most other guns just can't do. And folks, remember, this is an elimination match, right? TSM has their backs against the ropes as they're trying to fight for tournament life. Zoe playing quietly in the cage, but all she's got is a shorty, and Stephanie seems to be wise to it. Stephanie's gonna clean her up. Now that's certainly going to help as Emily gets one, but Leah Panda and Emily both dropped. They didn't have much as far as weapons go. Did get to 11. You feel the pressure starting to rise. TSM's looking up what seems like Mount Everest as they try to attempt to get back into this map. It's got to start here. You have to play almost perfect Valorant from this point forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I talked about Kath having that feel-good frag earlier, starting to get herself into the round, and she's still been a little quiet. I think we'll probably, well, TSM definitely need her to get activated and have some heroic moments moving forward. Because Dig right now, this default, it is killing TSM.
And we're not seeing the same aggression from TSM on the defensive side that we saw on the previous two maps, on Breeze particularly, but then on Ascent as well, right? They're just playing so much more slowly. They're not playing as aggressively, maybe in part because it's map 3 and it's an elimination match. For whatever the reason, the pace at which they're playing the defensive side has most undoubtedly changed.
Yeah, it definitely has, and I think it's going to keep changing here. I mean, if you're TSM right now, you're kind of terrified, to be honest, of what exec is on the way. All 5 ultimates are online for Dig. Do you play retake? Do you push B? I mean, it seems like Zoe wants some B main control, and that's some decent information, but no one sees anything in mid here.
Oh, no.
Oh, she stuck it.
No. Yeah, I think she just, for a slight moment, thought she had the window to make something happen. Maybe a bit too aggressive. Either way, TSM's able to punish that very aggressively. Emily's going to bring Stephanie back into the fold. Kath has a decent idea of where that is. The swing out, the flash was their perfect play to kind of keep things at bay, as Kath is able to push back the remaining members of Dig back down to 2. Sholiana has the Rolling Thunder, but there's just not enough firepower remaining on the side of Dig. 13 seconds left as well. Things very quickly piling up against Dig.
Oh.
Spike down.
That's some good frags to end it at least. Sholiana's unable to plant the spike, but, you know, she's going to walk away with this Phantom. I got to say, if I'm Dignitas here, I'm pretty disappointed in how this round played out. I mentioned the fact that they have 5 ultimates. They used 2 of them, but in just the most unoptimal scenario I can think of. So just maybe a little bit of miscalculation, a little bit of miscomms coming through for Dig here. But either way, TSM hit some nice shots to be able to capitalize off that.
Yeah, the res came out. That's not online. And then we saw Reigns from the shadows try to get back behind enemy lines and unfortunately got punished. Now take a look at where Rain is set up right now. They're going to try to hit an aggressive up ramps where the Paranoia will clear things out and the Showstopper follows. And there it is, the Paranoia. Oh, the wall's beautiful! As it stops things dead in its tracks. Forget all the utility they invested. That's going to buy some time, and the Cosmic Divide's going to come out to keep them at bay even more. Stephanie has to go in aggressive. They're going to have to try to stick the fight to the remaining members of TSM. Dig have got some breathing room.
Whoa, this Astral Wall, though, this is interesting. Stephanie and Emily are right next to each other.
Oh my gosh!
Oh! They're going B.
Yeah, but so's TSM. And they're going to win the foot race there. The lockdown to keep things at bay, that's going to go off. Nothing doing there. It's just rotating right into their hands. Cat's already on the site. Leah Panda's there as well. An excellent read from TSM. They got the beat onto Dig. They're going to get there first. Stephanie in a 1v3. Oh my gosh.
I have the spike.
She's already gotten 2. And she's got the spike. She's got 30 seconds. She's got plenty of time to play this out. 41 health into the 11 of Athena. She's not going to be playing for Garage. She's going to try to play tight. Surely not. You can't stop the diffuse from there unless you go in aggressively if Athena hits the right angle.
Oh, this timing is going to be insane. Athena's probably not even going to check. Oh my god.
No way! Stephanie, are you kidding me? A respawn clutch coming out from Dig to get them to map point to series point to push TSM on the brink of elimination. What a round!
Once again, it's Sholiana coming into the screen, showing that appreciation, man. Stephanie on this race, it's just something special. Sure, she had a bit of a blunder there. Emily's wall really stopped her in her tracks when she tried to make an opening, but man, the fact that she's able to just make magic, pull a rabbit out of a hat there in an almost impossible 1v3 scenario. Just coming up
1v4.
huge for Dig. 1v4, my God.
She went
Just-
nuts. Man, she popped off.
Insane stuff, and that's a tilter. I gotta say, if I'm TSM there, that's a little bit of a tilter.
That might be the final nail in the coffin. This is attack timeout from Dig.
Probably catching
Of
their
all
breath a little
things.
bit.
Yeah. Calm the comms down just a tad. Let's take stock of what's going on here. You've got Thea, who's got the neural theft. You also have Sholiana, the star from the previous round, who's got the Rolling Thunder here. And then on the side of TSM, this is a weird buy. Like this does not look good. This is not what you want to bring into this round. You've got a couple of rifles, a Spectre. The one thing they do have going for them is they do have ultimates. I imagine in a situation like this, Potter, you play retake. Yeah, they're playing pretty hard off-site on A. But unfortunately for them, Dig is cheating towards B here.
Yeah, you can see that they're pretty cautious right now. Stephanie and Thea, they're staying back. They don't want to get caught up in some sort of Rolling Thunder / Showstopper combo. So they're being pretty cautious. The pressure is towards mid. Just breaking the Sage wall at the moment. And yeah, I am curious. I mean, I think they're going to have to make a play. TSM probably feel very pressured to do so. So it looks like this breach is going to use the Rolling Thunder towards this mid. Off of Emily's contact here. You know, we've had a lot of Emily's
We
in
have
a lot of our matches
We
recently,
have.
Doug.
We have indeed. All right, Leah Panda teeing it up. And the thing is, Dig hasn't left. So if she commits to this, it is going to hit up all three. And as you mentioned, Kath does have the showstopper. You can feel the anticipation building. But of course, as I say that, Leah Panda pulls off. And the spike is going to rotate away. Cash should get some info. They're going to walk right into Zoe, right into the utility. The alarm bot's there. You've got Astra Stars there as well, but that's just one. Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. Nobody else had followed suit. Yes, Stephanie drops, but the Rolling Thunder does not connect onto anyone because Dig patiently waited, let Stephanie play contact, and now they're going to be able to re-aggress, but there's nobody on side either. Kath going in aggressively with the showstopper, not going to land onto anyone. 13 seconds left. They've gotten onto the site. They've got to get that spike down now, though, as the fight once again ensues onto ramp. Sholiana looking to keep things up as Thea has dropped. The spike does go down. It's a 5v3 in favor of TSM. Sholiana's a sitting duck. Sholiana got one, but got cleaned up. Leah Panda dealing the final blow. The remaining two members of Dig trying to keep Spike alive. Great paranoia, but no, the punish is there. It's all in the shoulders of Emily, who got two. I would have lost my bloody mind. Athena gets the defuse, TSM get to 8, and they live to fight another day.
Oh man, TSM barely just scraping by. They had to use everything in this round to do so, but they make it happen. They make it work. They hold their ground in that mid and kind of just funnel Dig towards that A ramp. Oh, that was close though, man. That was close. They got nothing left here though. They just got the guns. They got a Spectre, but no ultimates to help them out here.
Yeah, and look at the eco on the side of Dig too. It's bad. It's bad. The nice thing is they have a 4-round cushion that they can lean on, but they certainly don't have what they want to work with. You see Zoe full investment of utility towards A, so they feel comfortable knowing that she can play most of that site by herself. You've got Athena with slight help, but Thea is just causing all sorts of ruckus alongside Stephanie on A.
A lot of pop shots going off. This is a pretty strong lurk coming up from Stephanie.
It is. There's actually so much info that they've gathered from the ability to take that much away.
Yeah, they've got to do something about this Astra util top male. There it is.
Yep. Excuse me, not the showstopper. The slow orb, the nade as well, a perfect combo. Normally devastating, but Dig able to get away with their lives, but they're walking right into Athena's lap. She wisely is just going to back off, live to fight another day. Zoe does not have that same luxury, but Athena's already good for one. Zoe still playing backside. Athena lands a filthy shot. Zoe somehow stays alive that long and manages to get the kill. The spike's going to go down as well. Sholiana with 5 health left is a dead woman walking. A secret lab flawless for TSM. They're not going away quite yet.
Oh, man. That was just an eco, though, for Dig, so I won't get too excited yet for TSM. I am starting to see the possibilities, though. We haven't seen an OT yet. At least you and I haven't casted it yet, I don't think.
No.
But, oh, man, TSM, it's going to be tough. They've got to make every frag count because, as I said, they don't have the ultimates to pull them out of those pickles, so... Right now, this is Dig on a full buy. This is going to be the first test. The first of 3 on the way here for TSM.
Dig sitting pretty with a couple of ultimates in their back pocket. You see the tripwire that just went down from Thea towards A. Suggests that there's no intention to really hit that way, right? Like they want to go B, they want to make sure that nobody's flanking around through sewers, through defenders, or through attacker spawn potentially. They're turning most, if not all, of their attention towards B in the middle of the map. Oh boy.
Here we go.
Oh, they're going for it. Stephanie with the showstopper. Oh, doesn't connect onto anything. Doesn't deal any lick of damage, Potter.
Unfortunate. I think she just got caught by the last bit of the suck there coming out from Astra. And Stephanie, she's still in it, though. She's by the new box. And Rain, she's in a prime position in this male area. She is going to be the crux of everything here for TSM.
Excellent Cosmic Divide, but they are fully investing. You see that Rez has come out to bring Ember back just to drop again.
Oh.
Leah Panda just on the other side of the wall. She lands a kill onto Rain. By continuing to tick away a 4v3 in favor of TSM, Leah Panda just has 8 health, a sliver. You look at her funny and she dies in this instance, but she still manages to get the kill on Emily. Sholiana, great spot. Sholiana, good for 2. Sholiana, good for 3. What a statement to win the map, to win the game. Home field advantage too much as TSM is sent home packing.
Oh my goodness, that was so close. I thought, oh man, TSM, they were so aware, so thoughtful of the map. They knew that the lurk was gonna come through. They wiped out Rain. I thought that was it, but Sholiana finds just a sliver behind the sage wall and is able to get a 3-piece for herself. Man, this split, this entire series across all 3 maps was really just so back and forth here, Doug.
Potter, it banged. Lucy, dog, we gotta catch our breaths.
That was excitement, man. Stephanie, I just to quote you, Doug, from before, just working. What was it? Swiss cheese, something yesterday. Esports Doug 2021. That's the quote. Made work, and what a way to end it too, right there. Map number 3, Dignitas showing up right here, so they're going to be advancing on. My goodness, good job, guys. You guys are fantastic. I've seen chat for these folks over here doing the great things. Now, this is the part where we're going to be discussing. I believe we've got a little. Oh wait, no, we haven't even gotten any replays up. But anyhow, it's fine. I didn't know if we wanted to do that. Oh, there they are. All right. So this is, of course, going to be showing us a lot of how Dignitas was able to be dominant on this map. I really loved how Thea was able to bring in some of those nice one-ways to be able to play off of those well. And of course, we just see, as you guys kept calling out, it was all these fakes left and right. But in the end, Dignitas just still, they were privy to it all.
Yeah, I think they showed me a lot today. I think this was going to be a really good matchup. But the most impressive thing to me that we saw from Dignitas tonight was grit. And like how many times, yeah, it took a pause. Gosh, that from Sholiana, that was beautiful. How many times did we see Dig with momentum certainly not in their corner? Things did not look good. TSM was getting the ball rolling, and it was either off the back of a timeout, or in this instance, there was no timeout. I specifically was trying to ask production if there was another timeout, because that felt like Dig's calling card, their get out of jail free card, if you will. That wasn't there. There was no timeout. It was Sholiana who just freaking did it, man. Like she just pulled up and she just did it on her own. Hell of a close by Dig.
Yeah, definitely a hell of a close. And man, dude, Stephanie was incredible. I'm looking at the stats right now. She was involved. Well, the split one hasn't been completely updated, but across Breeze and Ascent, she was involved in 10 first contacts and she won majority of them. She won 9. She went 9-1. Like, she's just simply better today in the server. And she showed it, right? She showed it yesterday with that, what was it, a 2.5 ace. She showed it here today. She just doesn't back down. Her utility usage is amazing. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I am hugely a Stephanie fan. I'm on board here.
Yes. Stephanie's definitely made a big splash on the scene for sure, coming in as the newest member for Dignitas, and that has definitely been a fantastic pickup for that squad. So with that said, of course, let's go ahead and get it to our next professional makeup match MVP. It's Rain.
Yeah, I think while the fun thing about Rain and her performance on this map, in my opinion, is that it wasn't. I mean, you look at the KD, you look at the 20 kills, and it's hard for me to say what I'm about to say, but hear me out. Roll with me for a second. It wasn't flashy, right? Like it wasn't pop off. It wasn't 4Ks, 3Ks. It wasn't anything like that. Rain was just like a cornerstone for Dig. The way that she was able to lock down areas of the map, she was constantly getting high impact kills round after round. Again, it wasn't like Sholiana, who was hitting the highlight reels. It's not as sexy, to be honest, but the thing is, Rain was delivering those high impact kills. You see it on the scoreboard. You see it in the stats at the end of the day. I think she's the perfect candidate for the Knicks MVP.
Yeah, super integral because, again, team sport, of course, as you said, doesn't have to be always flashy, but being there, and for sure, Rain always coming in with that support as Omen for the squad, and Astra as well, depending on the map. And I mean, I've just been able to watch her do some great things, even being able to just pop the ult to get out of danger, not even to get to something obviously it is more advantageous, excuse me, to get out of danger, to stay alive for the squad, because that's another weapon in play. So congratulations to Rain and to Dignitas for a fantastic work across 3 maps, because, you know, it takes a lot out of you. Not quite sure exactly when this matchup started, but man, 3 maps can go the distance and the time there. And we pretty much did that. That TSM kept it up tight, but unfortunately in the end, now they are going home. They are taking some cash with them as well, so not all is lost. But anyhow, that's going to be Dignitas. Moving on to our 3rd day tomorrow. We're really excited to see that. I think you guys will be back tomorrow, right? For games?
We ain't going nowhere.
They're going nowhere. They're coming right back. All right. Well, then now we're going to be able to hear from a player of the winning team right now. It's our Verizon post-match interview with Thea. Hey, girl, I got a bone to pick with you. Thea, we meet again. Why are you playing with my heart? Oh, it sounds like it's a lot of fun and excitement happening over there right now.
Oh yes, as you can hear, I actually lost my voice from screaming too much.
Oh, congratulations. Hey, I did notice you did mix it up a smidge, but for the most part, Dignitas, you guys have kept with the same agent compositions, except for the Astra mix-up. Ever since Astra was brought into play, there might have been a little adjustment, some tweaks. So I want to ask you, what is this, like, the special sauce with Dignitas and your chemistry, I suppose, that makes you guys still so dominant without having to rustle up too many different agent compositions?
I'd say the thing that separates us from most teams is obviously, our chemistry, and also just our communication to each other is so good right now. Like, if you have good communication, it's just so easy. Seriously.
Love that.
Yeah, congratulations on the win. It was a big win. It was exciting to call and watch. I'd love to pick your brain on this. There were a couple of key moments, both in map 2 and map 3, where it felt like momentum was very heavily shifting towards TSM. They had a couple of rounds won in a row, and Dig, you could kind of feel the map kind of slipping out of your fingertips, if you will. And there were, in those instances, you guys called tack timeouts. What was said in those moments? Because it's actually kind of uncanny. You can look at the timeline of the map and go, that's when they called the timeout, and then they were able to get back on track. Well, tell me what was happening in those timeouts.
Yeah, tell him, Thea.
Right. Yeah, so Our coach XP3, he just kind of generally tells us, you know, this is what they're doing. This is where like you're failing at like cutting them off. So like this is what you can do, you know, and really, yeah, it's just really easy with XP3 helping us in those key moments because we can feel like, yeah, there's a lot of pressure right now. We lost like a few rounds in a row. Like we got to step it up. What do we got to do to step it up? And XP3 tells us exactly what we need to do, and we do it. It's that easy.
Nice, nice. I have to ask Thea because yesterday we saw your breeze. We saw some clever Omen plays coming out from you from the elbow nest area. You got some great timings. Today versus TSM, it did seem like they did their homework. It seemed like they knew what you were up to. Did you feel restricted? Did you feel that? And how did you, what was the comms like? What were you communicating to your teammates in that moment?
Yeah, definitely me personally on Breeze, like attack side, I felt they were really heavy towards me elbow. I couldn't like get much room there. And so yeah, I would come that to my teammates and we just kind of plan around like what picks we can get and where we group up and go. But yeah, they were really heavy on the elbow. They did their homework. Normally I can just get right in that nest, but nope, not today.
Nice. Hey, well, tomorrow you're meeting up again, matching up against CLG Red, if I got the information correctly. You guys haven't seen each other since last Game Changers, so I know I'm not going to ask for what you guys are going to do about it, but I just want to know, you know, what is the breakfast of champions right there? Like you're going in tomorrow. What's the pregame meal look like?
Oh, of course. Okay, start off. We got our Starbucks. We got our NYX Cosmetics Game Day looks on, okay? And honestly, we're just gonna go in there and we're gonna play our game. And honestly, I think it's going to be a breeze because our communication together is so good, especially on LAN. Obviously, we're missing Sholiana, which we're very sad about. But we're just feeling it right now. This is our game. This is our tournament. We're gonna get first place, okay? We'll see you
Ooh,
there.
I feel that hype, girl. I'm really excited for you guys. Congratulations again. Go celebrate with your team. I'll let you do that. It sounds like fun. Tell everyone awesome. Kudos to your coach, obviously, for bringing you guys up together as well. And again, we're going to see how you perform tomorrow. So good luck.
Yeah, thank you.